2, 3, 4. Top of the morning to you, my brothers and sisters, on this fortunate and lucky day, within a week of St. Patty's Day and our 26th episode of the GMG podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and play. I am one of your hosts, the Brazilian mountaineer, Lucas Ham Swisher. And beside me is the judge, jury, and the executioner of fake news, Patrick Novosel.
Top of the muffin to you.
Also, the guy who can crack you up and crack us up in 3 words or less, Ronnie Johantis. And finally, the man with music in his heart and Doctor Who on his brain, Marky Marc, a.k.a. Marcy, DJ Marcy B, 2K19, Marc Boucher.
And all other nicknames associated that you can think of.
Our little writing champion. What else?
What's up? Bottom of the morning to you.
Yeah, look out. Got it all covered now. So, how y'all doing? Anyone gonna be celebrating the upcoming St. Patrick's Day by eating some Lucky Charms, picking some 4-leaf clovers, drinking some green beer, or perhaps a shamrock shake like me, because I think beer is gross?
What's a shamrock shake?
McDonald's? Dude, you've never gone to McDonald's and gotten a good old-fashioned shamrock shake? Which is just pretty much a normal milkshake. They just put green food coloring in it, and I think put a touch of mint. And
I was going to say,
no wonder I don't get it. I don't like mint. Get out of here, the mint stuff.
Hey, buddy, you better back off the mint. Mint is glorious.
You better back off of the mint.
All right, before things get ugly, we're going to carry on because for a third week in a row, we got lucky because we got another quickfire from our brother, super listener Chad Fackler.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
I love these.
Do you think for third time's a charm we can actually do a quickfire the way quickfires were intended to be done?
Probably not, since we've never done that.
Yeah.
Why start now?
Yeah, that's true. I'm with you, Ronnie. All right, well, let's just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and do it. So super listener Chad Fackler 1, he said, okay, guys, third time's a charm. Tried to simplify this. Thank you, Chad. But simplifying things, it's all in vain. But let's go ahead and find out. Today we are doing a clothing quickfire. Are you ready?
No.
Maybe.
All right, then Mark, we'll start with you since you're maybe ready. And then we'll go with Patrick, then Ronnie, then me. From my left to right.
So you're first, then Patrick, then Mark, then me.
Do the opposite of that. So, Mark, are you ready to lead the
then.
way?
Yes.
All right, let's do this. Clothing quickfire. Baseball hat or beanie?
Beanie.
Baseball hat.
Baseball hat?
For sure.
Baseball hat for sure also.
I'm the weirdo.
Yep.
Now, do you wear it frontwards or backwards? I'm adding to the quickfire.
I guess you
great
are.
question.
Addendum. So, Mark, you going to wear your beanie backwards or forwards?
It depends on if it has a logo on it.
Yes.
They could have one of those little bills, too. So, I mean, you could wear it frontwards or backwards.
Or sideways.
That's true.
Oh,
true.
yes.
Ooh, look
Slightly
out.
tilted.
None of the above. I'll wear it inside out. Just
Oh,
Rally cap.
that's how DJ Marcy B does it. Rally capping it. So, Patrick, I'm going to guess backwards, and Ronnie backwards. And
You are
I'm
correct.
going to do the good old farmer forwards and just kind of lightly put it on my head. Let the bill just kind of shoot in the air.
I will say that I wear a lot of hats, and I have some hats that I only wear backwards and some hats that I only wear forwards.
What happens if you wear them the other way?
No, I didn't buy them for that.
So like they don't work that way, or
I like it as a backwards hat normally or a frontwards hat. Usually, I don't have a dual hat that I like to switch back and forth.
What determines whether you wear it backwards or forwards?
It's all about the feel.
Okay.
It's about the look.
Okay.
So how many hats do you have? Like 30?
Probably I'm like 50.
50? Okay, so
Good night.
where do you put your hats? Do you have them like on a shelf?
Yeah.
Oh, so when they're on display, I guess?
When they're on
Yes.
display, are they backwards or forwards?
That's
No, they all got to
good
be the
question.
same way
Yeah.
in the closet. It doesn't make any sense, but that's the way I got
That's
them.
confusing. Then how do you know which way to put it on your head if it's
From
all
memory.
facing the
I mean,
same way?
It either looks like a frontwards hat or it looks like a backwards hat.
So if you don't recognize the logo, you're like, well, I never look at that in the mirror, so apparently I wear that backwards.
What if you're like yelling to your like significant other, like, "Hey, get me my backwards hats"? How does she know which ones?
I would be very specific. I'd be like, "Hey, give me my maroon Cavaliers hat with the green underbill."
Wow, you know your hats by that much
All right.
information? Wow, that
Oh
is
man, I mean, I know all of them. Yeah.
that is
Hey,
terribly specific.
Remember when we were doing that quick fire?
Mark, polo or button up?
Polo.
A button up.
Actually, no, I take that back. Button up.
No,
My
you can't take
Can't
it
change
back. It's past.
That's quick fire.
Sealed.
Crap.
Ronnie.
Backwards.
I'm
What are
gonna
you,
go
that
with
band Crisscross from the 90s?
I'm gonna go with polo because it's less work. All right, Mark, plaid or stripes? Quit drinking on the job. You have to be ready.
Plaid.
Who's drinking? They can't see anything.
Way to give away the
question.
magic, Lucas. Gosh.
Poll question.
Plaid.
No,
Plaid.
and I'm gonna go also with plaid. All right,
Played.
jeans or khakis, Mark?
Jeans.
Jeans.
All the way.
All the way.
Jeans all the way.
Jeans all the way. But sometimes khakis. Mark, sneakers or loafers?
Ooh. Loafers.
Chucks.
Chucks.
I kind of wanted to say loafers because it made me think of a loaf of bread, and I'm hungry. But I'm going with sneakers.
What kind of loafers are we talking about? What classifies a loafer?
A loafer
Like
is a slip-on,
Slip-ons?
and it's got the little tassels at the end, like.
The tassels.
Does it have to have the tassels, or is it like those Sperry shoes?
I generally
Are those
think
loafers?
like more slip-on shoes, but if we're gonna do the little tassels at the end, then heck no, freaking sneakers.
No, too late. You already got the
Yeah,
tassels.
you already got the tassel
No,
loafers.
you did not qualify what that was. So
It's automatic. The loafers and the essence of the loafers is with the tassels.
Well, like I have,
That's what I thought too.
I have Toms. I love my Tom shoes, and those are slip-on shoes, so they're kind of like loafers.
Do they have,
They have tassels?
tassels, exactly.
They do not have
Dang it.
tassels.
So
That's
they're
why
not-
we
they're
needed
not
to qualify.
loafers. They're not loafers then. They're Toms.
All right, whatever.
Unless you
dude.
put tassels on them, they could be loafers.
Did I
Yeah, I'll
answer
go
the
get a-
question? I can't remember.
You said
You said loafers.
No,
well,
I
you
said,
said loafers at first because you were hungry. They made you hungry.
yeah, because bread loaf. So no, sneakers. But I don't tie my sneakers every time. I only tie them the first time, and then I slip them on like a loafer.
Now, do you tie your tassels on your loafers?
No, tassels, I get scissors and I cut the tassels off because they're freaking ugly.
He braids them.
Yeah, I braid them. Oh, crud. All right. Who's on first? Mark. Shorts or a kilt?
Oh my gosh. Shorts.
What?
I'm not that brave.
Shorts or a skirt, Patrick? Come on. Shorts or a skirt? Go.
Shorts.
Backwards.
So, what? Now,
Wait, let me
how
answer
does-
before you ask a question. I'm going to go with kilt because it breathes more than shorts do, so I like that better.
Now you got a kilt and loafers.
with tassels.
No, I said sneakers. That Mark said loafers with the tassels.
That's
I
still
said
ridiculous
sneakers.
either way. A kilt and
Do
sneakers.
kilts also have tassels?
So hold on, is this like something where we're going to have to wear this at some point? Like, all right, you got a backwards hat, you got plaid.
Yes, you're wearing all
kilts.
this. This is like a terrible open world game where the character customization has
and
way too many
jeans
options
underneath the shorts.
and none of them match. Yes,
Chad, I'm so sorry.
I'm not. This is great. All right, Mark, hoodie or flannel?
Flannel.
Hoodie.
Hoodie.
Floody. That's a flannel
Floody.
hoodie. Yeah.
Cheater.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd go with hoodie. Slippers or barefoot?
Slippers.
I own 0 slippers, so bare feet.
No, barefoot.
Wait a minute, this is about
Barefoot, not
about
bare
what
feet.
we own.
Oh, big what? Barefoot? Just
Yeah.
1 foot?
Barefoot,
Who has
yes.
a barefoot at their house?
That's what it says. It says barefoot, not bare feet.
Okay,
Bare feet's not an option. So slippers or barefoot?
backwards.
I'm taking a bear's foot.
Okay.
Good luck
I'm
with
gonna
that.
I'm gonna go with slippers. We have all hardwood floors here, and I don't like my bare feet on the hardwood floors, so it's all slippers all day. Or no, I changed that. Take it back. Edit that out. Socks with sandals. Forget the slippers.
Gross.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Zero editing from this point on.
That's right. All right. Next one. This is the last normal question. Quote unquote normal. Mark, watch. Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
Backwards.
And no. You know, you can wear a watch backwards. Did you ever do that where you look at it on your wrist? I tried to do that for a while because it made me feel cool. And then I realized I looked like an idiot, so I didn't do it.
I don't know
I gotta-
where people pick that up. Like
I don't
what-
either.
What? I don't know the benefit of doing it that way.
Well, maybe if you're like running really fast and you don't want to hit walls with your wrist, and you just turn the face of it inside, so no one
okay.
else can see the time except you. So you kind of just sneak it up there.
Oh my gosh, I'm running quickly. Oh my gosh, I need to know what time it is while I'm running quickly.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say no on the watch. That's what the cell phone is for.
True story.
All right. Then bonus question, Mark, PJs or naked?
PJs.
What? Who wears PJs?
Does this have to be the full suit?
Like
With a full
flannel
birthday suit? Yes,
full
full,
thing?
full birthday suit or full PJ suit.
What are we doing? Are we just in the evening walking around, or is this completely the bed only?
The bed. The bed. The bed.
It's naked for me on both.
So we're going streaking then. Patrick,
I'm never coming over to your house.
Patrick, did Patrick even answer the question?
I'll do PJs.
All right. I'm going to do... I don't really like PJs. Oh, hello.
Oh, that's a fine for me this time.
I'm just going to say underwear because I don't like PJs.
Yeah, go.
That's too much,
Stop
but
changing things.
I don't like
It's
naked.
got to be
So
either naked or
I guess
PJs.
I'm going to have to go with backwards.
That is an option.
Yeah, backwards. So there you go. All right. Well, that's that. Thank you, Chad Fackler. I'm sure at this point you've already been screaming in your car, pulling what's left of your hair out. Or, I don't. I can't
What was
think
that,
of
like 8 minutes for a
screaming.
quick
It was longer than that. All right.
fire?
So before we actually get into what's new news with our updates, I need to do one more thing very quickly. Are you ready?
No. What?
Who's there?
Housekeeping.
Who's there?
Housekeeping. You need me fluff pillow? Housekeeping. You need towel?
Don't you see the sign on the door?
Okay, I'm going to stop there. I don't want to spoil too much more of Tommy Boy or make us explicit or inappropriate. So, guys, we got our 14th review. Are you ready to hear it?
Ooh.
Yeah. Good. From Dante's Belmont. I believe that's VP Barnaby Butters on the Discord. Am I right?
Sure
It
is.
is.
Sure is. Here we go. The title of this review from Barnaby Butters is Amazing Fabuloso Kawaii ellipsis maybe not ellipsis. I don't know what that means.
What?
I don't know.
I don't even know what any of that means.
I don't either.
Did
So
you just have a stroke?
I didn't have the stroke. I didn't write the review. Barnaby had a stroke apparently. Or he would have, but he's a good exercising guy, so I think he's okay. So he had this to say about us. The rest of it makes sense. It's just the title I didn't understand. Great, 5 stars, just in case you were wondering. Thank you, Barnaby. Great podcast, great community. You never know what's going to come out of their mouths. That is so true. And Barnaby, good timing on that. The saga continues with Ronnie refusing to watch Superman for some reason, Marc no longer riding like a champ, Pastor Ham and kite adventures, and some OCD with the order to answer rapid-fire questions, and last but not least, Patrick and his many adventures with his friend Bob, the most magical place on earth. Bring back the fake news section. Now, who is doing something crazy? Riding Champion Part 2? Cutting a pig's leg with a chainsaw inside the house? Who knows? Listen to find out.
That got real dark.
Awesome.
How'd that get dark? Oh, the pig's
That's
leg with the chainsaw?
That's a
Yeah.
true listener right there.
Hey, that's a true story. When's it going to happen again?
Let's play a riding video game. Let's cut a pig's leg off in the house.
Yeah. You got to listen to the past episodes to find out what all that means. So this is our 14th review, but it's the 15th rating overall. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and get crazy. I'm not going to wait for the 15th review, like written review. We're just going to do it because it says on our little podcasting Apple podcast site that there's 15 ratings. So I'm going to do something crazy. Curious to know what I'm doing?
A
No.
little bit.
Good. I'm glad you're not interested, Patrick, because you're the reason. You're actually the reason I'm doing what I'm going to do. So to get things crazy, thanks to Patrick's suggestion, I am going to be live streaming an entire day, minus sleep, for you guys in the near future. Sometime in March, probably. Yeah, it's sometime in March. I haven't decided which day yet. Whatever I do, wherever I go, you're going to be going with me. So if I run errands, you're going with me to the bank. You're going with me to the market. I might go get some sugarcane juice, and you're just going to go with me while I order it. I might play some video games. I might take a nap. I might, I might work
on the live stream, man.
Yeah,
That's gonna be riveting.
It's going to be
He's doing
riveting.
some real IRL stuff.
That's right. I'm just going to stream my entire day sometime in March. So
Awesome.
join me. Chat with me. Sometimes I'll chat with you. Sometimes I'll ignore you. Sometimes Brazil might not let me chat with you, but it's going to be what it's going to be. So that's going to be my crazy thing I'm going to do. Thank you for all who have reviewed us, all 14 of you and all 15 of you that have given us 5 stars. So far, we're 15 out of 15 with 5 stars. Let's keep it up.
Woohoo.
Next up, after I do a crazy thing, is going to be Ronnie. He's going to be our last guy to do something crazy. So we will be doing that when we get 20 ratings and 20 reviews and all that good stuff. So what's new news? Let's get into it. Feel free to include your New Year's resolutions updates for those that haven't given them, and any Lent or life or gaming, family, whatever updates. And with that, let's start with any volunteers, because I didn't think ahead of time of who would go first. Go.
Man, what can I hear in the background?
Oh, you lost. You're first.
Yep. Music. Ronnie is the chosen one. Go for it, Ronnie. What do you got for us? What's been going on?
Well, since we recorded last week, I came down with the flu.
Boo
And,
for the flu.
I basically was out from, let's say, Wednesday till yesterday.
All right.
With the flu, I was literally lying down for 3 to 4 days, like just in and out of sleep, pretty much.
That stinks,
and-
man.
And then I went back to work today. That was it. That was my entire week.
So you've been out of commission for a whole week, Wednesday to Wednesday.
Pretty much.
Wow.
I will tell you, this is the first time that I had ever been so sick to where it was just like literally no energy.
Ugh.
And I mean, there's like just not a whole lot you can really do. It's
No.
kind of run its course.
You got to weather it. Yep.
Yeah. And it was the kind of sick where I didn't really play video games or anything. Like I just like didn't have the energy to like even stay focused like into something.
Oh, that's
Wow.
the worst.
Yeah,
All
it was.
about that life.
That was terrible. But anyways, yeah, that was my week.
Did you do any volleyball over the weekend? No?
I actually tried to play on Friday. I thought, all right, I got medication. Like I'm gonna try to play, and no, total disaster. Did not finish.
Were you,
Yeah, it was terrible.
What about any movies? Were you too sick to press play on some movies you recorded or borrowed or put your mail on top of?
Nope.
Great.
Although I did. Although here's what I will say: I did. I was trying to think of something on the spot. I didn't do anything. I didn't watch it.
And crash and burn.
Oh.
All right, next up, Patrick. What do you got for us, buddy?
Well, along the lines of Ronnie, I was also sick for like 3 or 4 days, but I didn't have the flu. I had a sickness to where I couldn't keep anything in.
I blame Marc.
So I was just, if I tried to eat anything or drink anything, it just went right through me.
Yeah, that sounds like something Marc gave both you and Ronnie last week when he was still sick.
That is totally incorrect because I didn't experience any of those symptoms.
Yeah, these internet bugs, I hate them.
Yeah, it went right through the interwebs.
So when you say that it went right through you, means you had a poop festival.
I was on Discord a lot.
Oh, I thought hashtag poop life. The other alternative is that he's a ghost and things are literally going through him, and I don't think that one's a good option.
No, that would have been awesome though.
This podcast would be a lot more popular if we were.
So I was sick, and last Wednesday was my wife's birthday, and
happy belated birthday, Mel.
My plan was usually for her birthday is I make her food or make dinner or do stuff, but this year her birthday fell on a Wednesday, a work day, and I couldn't get off because my boss was off, so I couldn't take off of work, and I was sick, so I wasn't about to make any food, so we went ahead and ordered some food, and I brought it home for her. It was a little bit of a letdown because I usually do something big for her birthday, but unfortunately I wasn't able to this year. But I do have some plans for our anniversary coming up, so
there you go.
That'll make up for it.
Bow chicky bow wow.
Other than that, my son Clark, he started swim lessons, so he's 4, and right now he's been using a puddle jumper, some swimmies. When he swims.
How long has he been 4? I feel like he should be 5 already.
He'll be 5 in July.
It's that far away, July?
Yeah.
That kid looks like he should be 5. Are you sure you got the right birthday on the birth certificate?
Well, he was born 22 pounds.
Wow.
He's a big boy.
That is
that's
a
really
Thanksgiving turkey.
He's off the charts in height. He's big for his age, for sure. One morning when I went to work last week, my car kind of didn't really start. It gave that like vroom, 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 and then it gave over like a couple clicks. I'm like, oh no, my battery's dead. So I tried it again. Car started up. I was like, all right, I'm going to make it to work. And I got to work fine. And about every hour while I was at work, I went out to try to start my car so the battery wouldn't die, so I could get a battery after work. So I get after work, I go to the AutoZone and I buy a new battery. So when they take out my old battery, the guy's like, "Is this your? How long have you had this battery?" And I was like, "I don't know, 5 years," because batteries usually last between 4 and 5 years. Mm-hmm. He's like, You've had this since 2009.
Oh my gosh. I was like, 10 years?
I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you've had this battery for 10 years. How in the world is this still working? I'm like, well, it wasn't working today. So he's like, he asked me what kind of battery do you want? And I have no idea what kind of batteries there are out there. And I get a battery once every apparently 10 years, so I have no idea what's out there. Yeah. So I just respond, I'm like, I don't know, a good one, one that works. I don't know what kind of range of batteries there are.
Yeah, whatever you normally put in there.
I know, right? So, oh man, but yeah, I watched a few movies this week. I watched 3 movies this week.
Were they?
Now I'm gonna
were
go
they 10s? Or is that spoilers?
None of them are 10s.
Oh no!
What kind of?
I'm sorry, none of them are 10s.
You could repeat.
What kind of battery did you get?
I don't know.
The one with a bunny on it? Did you get the one with a bunny on it?
What's that? Oh, you want to know you want to know more about the battery?
I mean, you just cut the story right halfway through.
He really did. I thought that was rather abrupt. I was hoping you got like the battery with the bunny on it.
You just told him you don't know, and then that's the end of the story.
Yeah, I was like, just give me a good one. I don't know.
Did you get a good one?
I guess. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out in about 4 or 5 years.
10 years.
I just thought you were going to throw an ending on there or something.
Oh, no. I mean, do you need one?
It's left us all hanging for part 2.
So I got the battery installed, and it worked.
Hey!
All right.
Yeah.
Guys, we are
The
still
end.
talking about this battery. I thought we were moving on to the movie. What is going on?
Wrapping it up.
I already did. What? I already wrapped up the battery story. I can keep going. There was this guy.
Wait, there's more? There's more
at
to
the
the story?
AutoZone.
What happened after
There's like,
you?
well, the guy at,
turned the
at
battery on?
AutoZone, I asked him, I was like, hey, can you install it? He gave me a look
Bonus scenes.
like he doesn't do that. I'm like, yeah. Can you please install it?
Pretty sure that's in your job description.
I know. He looked at me like I was crazy.
He just like put the battery in your hands. He's like, here you go, sir. Have a good day.
Sorry to make you do your job. Jeez. I don't know. That's about all the battery stories I got.
Now wait,
So we did put the battery in though.
have you checked
What's
to see what the age is on the other parts to your car? Like your windshield wipers. How long have those been on there? 10 years?
Oh, I bought those
Like,
last year.
Wrapped in duct
Those are
tape?
still made of
They
wood.
are
Cotton. You like put cotton balls all over the and wrapped it in duct tape. And then it's just like, I can still see. It's fine.
That's a new technology out there right
It's
now.
It's just a stick with cotton on the end.
Yeah. 10 years
It's the
ago,
first
I installed
wiper
this.
ever made.
It's all manual, so I have to stick my arm out the window.
So how about these 3 movies?
Oh yeah.
No, wait a minute. So the guy then installed your battery, right?
Yeah. Pretty reluctantly though.
All right, well, and it's good.
Yeah. And then I paid for it. He gave me a receipt.
That was bold. They
Yeah.
put the battery in before you paid? You could have just hightailed it out of there, been like,
I'm jumping all over on this battery stories. Just trying to think of all the
Vigilante.
details for you, Ronnie. Just for you.
Was it a nice AutoZone?
It was a local AutoZone. I don't know what nice AutoZones look like.
There are,
Yeah,
are there,
I feel like
are
they're
there
all a
inter-
little bit crummy, right?
Yeah.
Car shops.
So that's it about the battery.
This battery's
Good
really
story.
important. All right.
So speaking of batteries, I saw 3 movies this weekend.
All right.
The first movie I rented for my daughter, it was a clock or a house with a clock on its walls. That's a Jack Black,
Jack Black,
kids movie.
I thought you were
Yeah,
going to say a Clockwork Orange. I was like, oh, no.
No,
Don't show that to your daughter.
I did not do that one. But yeah, if you don't have kids, don't even bother with that movie. Even if you have kids, just let them watch it. It's really not that good.
Oh, that's a
I'll-
bummer.
So
Let them watch it while you go remote play on your Apple device with your PS4.
Exactly. But if I had to rate that one, I would probably say, I don't know, 5 out of 10
Broken car batteries.
long hands.
Long hands?
Yeah,
Wait,
there's a
like
long
hands
hand, short
that-
hand, right?
Do you say short hands? You have short hands.
Wait,
Don't you have short fingers?
what
Or
are those
big...
things on clocks? Are
Oh,
those long hands and short
I
hands?
I was thinking of people hands. My
Let's go
mistake.
back to that though.
It's a pretty nice clock. So after we watched that, my son and I watched How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
That one was awesome.
Yeah, it
Clark
is.
and I absolutely loved that one. I knew nothing about this series, and I know Lucas that you had watched it, and I know Ash Michelle watched it recently.
Yeah.
So, and each of you both said it was good. So,
Yeah.
I decided to try it out, and yeah, it was good.
Didn't you want to get your own Toothless after watching that movie? Like, I'd love to have a dragon just like Toothless. He was so cool.
Well, yeah, I mean this kid, he's just like creating, saddles and all this gear for a dragon, and just riding on a dragon like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like he was
It's awesome.
fearless. Yeah. So that was I really enjoyed that movie. And if you have kids, even if you don't have kids, I would recommend watching that because it was actually
For
a pretty
sure.
good movie.
Just find
Yeah,
a kid. Find a kid and watch it with him.
Find a kid.
But don't
You
be
wanna
like
watch a
Lucas
movie
and
with
hit the
me?
kid.
No,
Don't find him like Lucas.
Don't hit him. No. Or if you accidentally hit him, you can say, "Hey, I'll make it up to you. Let's watch a movie. It's a cool movie."
Don't sue me.
Probably
Don't sue me. Let's watch How to Train Your Dragon. So what kind of rating do you give it?
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10
Called it.
puffs. 8 out of 10 puffs.
Puffs of what?
The dragons.
Okay.
The magic dragon.
Magic dragon.
Yikes.
I like that. 8 out of 10 puffs.
And then I ended up watching Captain Marvel over the weekend with my buddy Chris.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. After watching it, I don't want to go into any spoilers for those who haven't watched it. But if I had to rank, I ranked my MCU movies from 1 to 21. It ended up being number 15 overall on the list, and I thought it was going to be like that. It was going to be like in the middle.
What is it? Do you remember off the top of your head what it's between, just to give us reference of? Do you remember your 14 and 16?
Number 16 was Black Panther.
Okay.
For me, yeah, I wasn't too big on that as a lot of other people were. And then number 14, I couldn't. Maybe Ant-Man and the Wasp, something like that. Maybe around there.
All right.
So then it's not a bad movie. I mean, like I had a really struggle ranking my MCU movies in the middle because they could be interchanged for sure.
For sure.
But I enjoyed the movie. It was a good origin story. I really liked the cast in the movie and how it kind of pretty much starts it all because you get a young Fury, you get a young Coulson in there, so that was kind of cool to see them again together on screen.
Cool.
So that was nice. But yeah, if I had to rank that, I would say it's a 7 out of 10.
Okay. 7 out of 10 what?
7 out of 10 internet trolls.
Okay.
Nice. I
Little
like it.
cultural context there.
But yeah, and then lastly, I don't know if I had talked about it 2-3 weeks ago or whatever, but my son had came up to me and he said, "Daddy, can you teach me to play games?"
Yes.
And I looked at him and I was like, number one, I love you.
Did you tear up? Like, did you start to cry?
I love you.
Number one, whether you're my favorite
moment.
child.
My entire life. No. It was
Your
actually
entire
cool.
life. It's 4 years.
No, my entire life.
Oh, okay. So when
my son
when
to
you were
come
a little
to-
kid, you were like, I can't wait to have a son. You're like
When
2
he was 4,
3 years.
he was thinking
Yeah.
about his son that's 4.
I can't wait to have a kid my age, and he wants to play video games.
Exactly. Yeah. So when he said that, I'm like, okay, let's try something easy, because I have an Xbox, PS4, and I've only been gaming by myself pretty much. So I have a lot of adult games. I don't have very many kid games. But I do have Xbox Game Pass. So I was like, well, there's a Lego game out here, a Lego movie game. I was like, okay, let's try this. And there was too many buttons for him. He couldn't figure out how to build and go places. It was very I think it was not a good start for him.
Yeah.
So what I did is I went online and I found a Paw Patrol game. And this Paw Patrol game is pretty much just like a 2D side scroller, like a Super Mario Brothers without enemies.
Okay,
And
cool.
So he doesn't have to worry about dying, falling off cliffs, so whatever. So it's pretty much like left to right and jumping. That's all it is. And I was like, okay, this will be perfect for him. He loves Paw Patrol. And also he has a trouble with the Xbox One controller. It's huge. He has 4-year-old hands. He can't really grip it. I guess in a way to where he would be serviceable in games. So I went online and I just searched mini Xbox One controller, and there is one out there.
Cool.
And it is a wired controller that is as big as a Super Nintendo controller. So they really compact the Xbox One controller down. So I gave it to him. He was pumped that he has a controller that is his size, and we started playing. When was that? Was that Monday? So 2 days ago.
Yep.
I had brought home.
I saw that you were playing.
Oh yeah, you were seeing it. It wasn't
like-
me. It was my son.
It's like, Patrick, are you playing Paw Patrol?
I'm going for those easy trophies.
Yeah, buddy,
No.
get that 10th platinum.
I did look at it. There's no platinum on this one.
Oh,
So
that's
womp
too
womp.
bad. That's the best when you can do both. have fun with your kids,
Yeah.
and get a platinum. I've done that with
Exactly.
Smurfs, Madagascar 3. I have a number of those.
So yeah, he loves the game, and he was struggling at first because you can run and jump, and he really couldn't figure that part out. He would stop, and then he would jump, and then try to go to the next platform. And he's a typical first timer, and he's like moving his controller up as he jumps, and as he moves to the right, he moves the controller to the right. As he moves to the left, he moves to the left. So yeah, it's
Classic.
typical first time gamer.
Yep. What are you talking
so that was
about? My mom, my wife. There are a number of people in my life that still do that. But you will lead him past that.
Inexperienced gamers.
Yeah, you'll lead him past that. I know you will.
Yeah. So we played that, and he was struggling in certain parts of the platforming parts. So I kind of helped him, and then I kind of like urged him along to keep trying to do it himself, to keep learning. So I go to work yesterday, and I don't know about you, but I have my Xbox and PlayStation trophies synced to my phone. So anytime one pops, I get a notification. And I'm at work, and I notice I keep getting notifications that he is getting these achievements on Xbox. And I'm like, oh, this guy is really doing well. And I thought that Mel was helping him while he was home. And I get home, and he's just like jumping all over the place, running, double jumping, doing all the stuff the game can offer. And I'm like, dang, you're doing pretty good. So I go downstairs, and I'm doing some laundry, and I come back up, and my son's like, I beat it.
What?
I looked at him, I was like, I just got this game for you. You're not allowed to beat it already.
Nice.
So he was he's really come a long way in 2 days of playing this game. So I thought this was a great first start for him. And I told him, since he beat it, I'm like, you're not allowed to. I'm not gonna buy you another game until you get all the dog bones and get all the paw prints. Now there's like five paw prints per level. There's 16 levels, and there's 200 dog bones on each level.
Jeez.
So I told him, you're not gonna get out of the game until you get all the dog bones and all of the paw prints.
Nice.
So he has to play it a little bit longer, because he was like, he's pretty much was done with it because he thought he had beaten it. I was like, well, see, there's these achievements that you can get if you get all these other things, and it gives him an extra challenge. So
Nice.
So yeah, pretty pumped about that. I don't know what the next game would be, but I'm sure it'll be some other kid game. This was a good one.
I can't remember. Do you have the NES or the Super Nintendo Classic?
Oh no, I don't. So it was funny.
That would be a good next step. Just so you know,
I was at work on Monday, and I was talking about the game that I had just bought for him, and my coworker that sits right next to me. He's like, "Hey, do you have a Wii?" And I was like, "No, I've never had a Wii before." He's like, "Well, we just got one sitting in a drawer collecting dust. Do you want it?"
Cool.
And I'm like, "Yeah, nice." Yeah, because Nintendo's I say is the Wii is geared more towards kids.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And with how small the controller is, I thought that would be awesome. So we're gonna give that to him to his birthday in July. Nice. So I was pumped. Got him got a little Wii system for him. So that'll be awesome. There's way more kid games available for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Than Xbox and PlayStation.
For sure. And just make sure to get him that Wii controller, the motion controller. If he's just gonna play motion games, it's good. But if he's gonna play like controller games where he has to hold it sideways, like Mario or any of those, you're going to want to get another small controller to kind of plug in the bottom of it, because those Wii controllers, when you turn them sideways, are really tough on those little kid hands.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because even my daughter, she's 8, still has trouble with it's really spread out, and then the buttons are super small. It's not ergonomic for the kids' hands. So
okay.
But they have little Nintendo controllers. Just check it out. You have till July, so you have some time to do your homework.
For sure. Okay.
I will say real quick, if you were, because I know you mentioned the NES and SNES Classic, if at some point you were planning on buying that, I don't know, for yourself or for Clark, I would buy those pretty soon, because Nintendo has officially stopped production.
Oh, have they?
On those things?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you're going to slowly start seeing them fade out
Mm.
of retailers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
So
I'll look into that as well.
you might want to jump on that if you so choose.
Sure. Okay. But yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
Mark, how about you, buddy?
So this week was kind of low key for me, but some things of note that happened for sure. Friday night, I went on a little date night with my wife, and we went and saw, of course, Captain Marvel, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was great, and she really enjoyed it. She had a great time with it. Loved all the cast in it. Loved the story. Loved the end credit scenes. Absolutely loved. I don't know if this is a spoiler. It's not really. Doesn't pertain to the movie. Dang it! I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. No. Okay. It's not a spoiler. So if you consider it a spoiler, put the spoiler warning up. Put the spoiler alert up. So the intro graphics with the Marvel Studios logo and all that, the tribute to Stan Lee. That
was so cool. So imagine when you're watching the Marvel movies, the comic pages flipping to become the Marvel logo. Instead of all the characters and all the superheroes, it is actually all of Stan Lee and his cameos that he's done within the movies so far.
Cool.
That was really, really neat the way they did that.
And then it's followed by a thank you, Stan. And I also, of course, really enjoyed his cameo, which, I mean, he's in every Marvel movie. Up to apparently Spider-Man Far From Home will be his last official cameo. But I enjoyed his cameo for a couple of reasons, but I won't tell you what that is.
Thank you.
But yeah. But we had a great time with the movie. Truth be told, I haven't really ranked my favorite Marvel movies. Maybe that's something I need to do.
Get on it.
I just enjoy all the Marvel movies. For sure.
Yeah.
They're all special.
Yes. And, especially, setting up Avengers Endgame and that kind of stuff, setting up this character. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with her for sure. So yeah, we did that on Friday night, and then Saturday night was family night at La Coretta. And then, of course, playing Exploding Kittens or Vomiting Cats, however you'd like it, which was awesome. I am super excited because the company that makes Exploding Kittens, the game, they actually have a new game coming out later this year. They've started a Kickstarter campaign for it. And it's a game that combines, it's like a card game and dodgeball at the same time. And
all right.
I hear paper cuts coming
God bless you.
in the near future.
You don't throw the cards. So the name of the game is Throw Burrito. And
So you throw burritos instead of cards?
they're not actual burritos. They're like little stuffed toys that are shaped like burritos.
So you could definitely play that at La Coretta and actually
Yes, for sure.
buy real burritos and throw it at people.
Yeah, we might get thrown out though, so I'd rather not do that.
Par for the course.
There's always Taco Bell.
Yeah. Ew, no. Yeah, so I'm excited for that game to come out. But Saturday night we played that, and that was awesome. We played Exploding Kittens, not Throw Burrito. It's not out yet. And then Sunday.
Wait a minute, you got it before it was out?
No, that's not what I said, Ronnie.
Oh,
Not what I said at all.
They were like VIP or something for the game, burrito game.
I wish I was.
He is Vomiting Cats VIP. I mean, to this point, he has endorsed that game at least every other week. So at least
Are they paying you?
12, 13 times.
They should pay me,
Yeah.
but they're not.
This update is brought to you by Vomiting Cats. Blech.
I will plug anything.
Blech. Yeah, so Sunday, we actually took our youth group to the movies, the local movie theater in that area, to go see Captain Marvel. So I saw Captain Marvel a second time. Yeah. And the kids enjoyed it. They absolutely loved it. Especially because a lot of the kids in the group, they're very appreciative of 90s culture, especially like 90s music and stuff like that, and they incorporate a lot of that.
For them, that's like the
movie.
60s, right? It's really old.
Basically. No, they had a great time with it, and it was good to be able to watch it. I always like watching, especially Marvel movies, like multiple times to see if I catch anything that I missed on the first viewing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times Marvel kind of just throws little things in there, and I try to look around and see if there's something I missed.
At the end of the movie, did you warn everyone that there was after credit scenes?
Yes, and I tell you why I could.
And your wife gave you the death stare?
No, because Kristen wasn't there.
Oh, nice. Well played. Well played.
And I literally said out loud to them, I said, I finally get to do this.
You got your cane out and your crown. You started walking around.
Well,
There's a post-credit scene. There's two of them, actually.
The microphone slides out of his sleeve and everything.
He gets up and he's like, folks, this will only take a second.
Everybody listen up.
The guards slide their guns towards you and everyone screams, gets on the floor.
And by the time I've done my thing, they've already missed the credits and the spoilers. And
That's correct.
all that stuff. But yeah, no, unfortunately, Kristen has been sick. She's feeling better today.
You
but,
got her sick at least, along with Ronnie and
yeah,
Patrick.
apparently I did. But yeah, she wasn't feeling very well, and so she ended up going home after lunch. She went with us with the youth group to lunch, but then she's like, I'm not feeling well, and we had already driven 2 different cars anyway. So she's like, I can't make it. I'm going home. So I just took the kids. So yeah, I got my moment in the sun. I got to announce there's more post-credit scenes.
Man, how did that make you feel?
Good. It made me feel
so many
fulfilled.
scenarios just go in my head. I can see him being like Elf. He just stands up and he's like, I'm singing. There's subtitles. Or not subtitles. There's after credits subtitles. Sorry, I live in a country where everything has subtitles. So
Marc gets up there. There's subtitles. I've never done this before. I'm so nervous.
I love you.
It's the end of the movie, man. There were no subtitles. No, but no, it felt good. But anyway,
post-credit subtitles, baby. They're coming.
Yes.
Get ready.
Get ready to read, my friends. But on the gaming front, played a lot of Apex Legends for sure, and also some Overwatch. Got to play with you guys and some of the MTTG community for LEMS, I guess formerly known as Dukebox Monday. I don't know if he's gonna keep that. Custom game Monday or not.
Custom match Monday. He put it on Twitter,
Yeah.
so it must be official. He hashtagged it.
There you go.
That means it's real.
Absolutely. So I had a great time with that. It's always fun, like especially with the amount of people playing against each other. In previous times where we play Overwatch, it's usually playing online with, random people we get match made with. It's just fun to play with the community, play against each other, and it was a great time for sure. And that is pretty much my week.
Cool.
Lucas?
Well, that leads right into me because I was also a part of this said Overwatch community night that we had on Monday night. It was a blast. I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit of chaos when I joined in because you guys were already started, and I actually got put on the other team. There were some people on there that I kind of knew. I'm trying to remember who was on that team. I think Sheldor eventually was on that team, but Lim was trying to shuffle everybody around. So there were a couple matches where I was against Lim, you, Mark, and Patrick. And Lim is some kind of widowmaker because he just, every time I'd enter the room that he was in, he would headshot me. And I did not appreciate that at all. And then,
yeah, he's had a little bit of practice.
Yeah, just a little bit. I think he's played like, I don't remember how many games. He said at one point how many games he's played. He's played like, I think he's played like 900 hours, 2,000 some matches or something, or he has 2,000 some wins. I don't remember. It's a lot. And then, of course, being on the other team, I also heard "nerf this" from Marc like 50 times because, you know, got to play that diva, buddy. You rocking that diva, always in the attack or defend area, hopping around, shooting at us. So, but then after a couple matches, Lim reshuffled everything, and I got to be on Lim's team, and then of course with my GMG brothers, and we rocked it out. We won some, we lost some, but we all had fun, and it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. I will say the only thing that there's a little part of me that doesn't like the fact that I can't, while I'm not sure I'm going to earn any trophies anytime soon, I can't earn any trophies in custom games. So there's a part of me that's like, I want to earn a trophy or two. Right now I have like 3 trophies, and I'm not a big fan of that. But I'm a very big fan of the game. I'm a very big fan of playing with you guys, and it's been a blast. Right now my main, I guess, if you want to call it a main, is the Swedish dwarf, Torbjorn, whatever it is. Torbjorn. I think, what's the chocolate? I always get that mixed up with the chocolate. It's
Toblerone.
Toblerone, yes. I always want to say Toblerone, and then it's Torbjorn. But I really like him with his turret and all that stuff. So hopefully we'll try, every time we try to do a game night or play Overwatch, we'll put it on Discord, maybe sometimes on Twitter. And if anybody out there plays Overwatch, come and join us. On the family front, my son is also crossing into a new milestone, if you want to call it that. He is ready to start learning how to ride a bike. And so
nice.
He is 6 years old, 6.5, and my mother and father-in-law bought him a bicycle. My daughter already had a bicycle, and actually they did a little bicycle shuffle. They bought another bike for my daughter. And then my daughter handed off her old bike, which wasn't really that old. It was like 4 months old and in really great shape. And kind of handed that off to James. And he said, I'm ready to learn how to ride a bike. And I said, well, let's go. So last week we went to our favorite park, Ibirapuera. And he has not ridden at all. He hasn't done the training wheel thing. He's just like, let's get into it. I want to ride my bike like my big sister. And 2 hours later, and 2 hours worth of back pain and a little bit of falling, he still cannot ride a bike, but he's getting there. I had these glimpses of like where I was pushing him and kind of like I was letting go of the seat, but I didn't want to totally let him go because he's a drama king. Like he spooks easily. He gets scared very easily. If he gets scared of something, like I've told you guys in the past, like with thunder and lightning, he's still struggling with that. He's getting a little better. Now his thing is the only way he can overcome his fear of thunder and lightning is he's like, Dad, are you going to wake me up in the morning? I'm like, yes, son. I will wake you up in the morning if you don't wake up first. Okay? So he just gets these little things stuck in his head and he gets a little scared. So I wanted to really try to prevent that. So this time around we spent about 2 hours. I didn't like just do that whole push him and if he falls, he falls. If he goes, he goes. But I would let go of the seat from time to time and kind of just run next to him. And he had these moments where he was going straight. Then he had other moments where he just was like, I can't control anything. And he would just like, the bars would go everywhere and he'd get really scared. But he's getting there. And we're going to go to the park over the next few weeks. We're going to go to the park a few more times. And I think he's going to really get it and be riding along with his sister. So that was good times. In the bad times area with, not so much with my family, but just with life in general, my dishwasher died. And I'm really praying for somebody to invent cheap self-cleaning dishes. Otherwise, I'm in trouble, at least for the next few years, until my kids are big enough to wash the.
I thought you didn't care about your dishwasher.
What do you mean I don't care about my dishwasher? Who said that?
You said previously that you love washing dishes because you can listen to podcasts.
I don't know that love was the word that I used. I will say that I enjoyed the time, but man, I don't know. Like my family, not my family, my wife is good with this, but my kids, they go through too many dishes. And in general, when you have to when you've gone so long without washing like just normal dishes, cups, and silverware, and then you have to go back to that, it's kind of hard. Like you forget how many things you go through every day and how many things you got to wash. Like we only do 2 meals a day because we do breakfast and dinner because lunch is at school. And I just eat stuff out of bags. I don't even use I barely use cups. I just pick up the milk carton or the juice box and I just drink straight out of it. Forget using dishes when I'm by myself at home working.
So do you find yourself reusing?
Oh, totally.
Your dishes?
Yeah. I just rinse them off, or I don't rinse them off. I just leave them at the table and then I use them later. I do that we do that with cups. We have during holidays, we definitely have our kids use the same cups. We all use the same cups all day. Lunch, dinner, not so much breakfast because we drink coffee, but Mike BC's.
So like a plate or a bowl, like you just leave it at the table and then use it again the next time?
No, we don't. I'm just kidding. We don't really do that with the cups or with the bowl. Sorry.
Backpedaling.
No, with the dishes, we don't do that. It's just with the cups we reuse. Sometimes I pull a Joey and
I do the same thing with cups.
I lick the spoon and then I put it back in the. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. But no, I try to reuse stuff where I can. Like if you put something dry on the dish, like crackers or like bread, and there's no like jelly or butter getting on the plate, yeah, just rinse it off and put it in the drying area on the strainer to dry it. It's fine. But yeah, Mike BC saw that my dishwasher broken. He said on the Discord, he says, "Looks like you need a teenager. I never have dishes pile up like that, and the only time I do dishes is if he's sick." So yeah, that's why I'm waiting here for the next few years. I need my daughter to get around 10, 11 years old where she's a little taller and I can trust her to not break dishes and such. And then we will be golden. Once I can get one of the kids into the dishwashing process with me, little by little, once I have both of them, then I'll be good to go for at least.
Yeah, put them to work.
Yeah, put them to work for about 7-8 years at least. But we're also...
Oh, yeah. Child labor.
That's right. We're also shopping around for dishwashers and all that jazz to see what we can find. But we'll see what happens. For now, I'm the dishwashing machine. And
so how much do dishwashers cost down there? Like $2,000?
No, they're not that much. It depends on what size you get. If you get a normal size one that most Americans are used to, yeah, it would be around probably $2,000. But they have like mini dishwashers where you can fit like, I don't know, a dozen.
A spoon?
Yeah, a spoon, a cup, a plate. The end. It's called the Bachelor Edition. No. No, they have them like where you can hold like a dozen plates, half a dozen cups, a few bowls and some silverware. Like that's the one we have. It's pretty small, but you just kind of, you fill it up as much as you can, you run it, and then once it's done, you just reload it again. I mean, it's surely a lot better than hand washing everything over and over again. But so that's the hard times I've fallen upon, but I'm surviving. I'm going to make it. On the more fun front of life, I'm still rewatching the MCU movies. It continues. We just watched, we being my wife and I watched Spider-Man Homecoming. And of course, what a classic movie. Loved it all over again. Keaton as the surprisingly cool bad guy. You know, the high school antics and just the whole high school relationships. Like they do a really good job of just capturing that young Peter Parker, and kind of his antics with his friends, with his buddy that I can't remember the name of, that has the Death Star Lego ball and is just a big nerd.
I cannot remember his name.
Ned,
thank you. So yeah, it's really cool, and just the noob Spider-Man. Like I just like they skipped the whole origin story. He mentions it, but they don't cover all that stuff, and they just kind of jump into him learning how to be Spider-Man. And if for some reason you haven't seen it, you need to watch it because it's really good. It's a good standalone movie, and of course, after you watch Captain America: Civil War and then watch later movies, it's a good kind of character development movie as well. So loved it. It also made me want to play the PS4 game again because there's a part where he has his backpack and he kind of webs his backpack to a garbage dumpster, and it reminded me of all the collectibles in Spider-Man on PS4, the backpacks you have to collect. Yeah. I was like, man, I want to play that game again. It's such a good game. On the work front, substitute teaching. I did that today. Told some dad jokes from the Discord, and then just made sure that no students hurt themselves or hurt others while they were...
During your dad jokes?
No, that's separate. Told the dad jokes. And then for the rest of class, while they were doing their work, I made sure they didn't hurt themselves.
Why don't you put a disclaimer before your dad jokes? All right, don't hurt yourselves. Here comes a good one.
Don't hurt your brains. I'm going to tell you a dad joke. You might have to think, or you might think it's totally stupid. So don't hurt me or hurt anyone else because of it.
He bounces all of his new material off of his classes.
That's right. Free feedback for my stand-up comedy tour that I'm going to go on here in a couple months. But before that, before I had my glorified babysitting today, I've been working from home, drowning in my disorganization, because the fact of the matter is I am not a disciplined person. I'm going to have a confessional moment. I both love and hate working from home. Like, I love the freedom, and I love also being able to get, a mixture of things done, home to-do lists, and also work things, but I'm just easily distracted. I'm easily overwhelmed and distracted by good and bad things. I just can't get traction sometimes on my projects. I was curious to know. I was going to give a moment because I thought, you know what, maybe I'm not the only one that's having this difficulty. Do you guys have any quick tips for people out there that are having trouble getting organized? Throw them at me.
You're asking the wrong person.
I need inspiration. So Marc is out. He is also not.
This sounds more like a Pat issue.
All right.
Make a list.
So
Make a list.
Make a list. Check. I already do the list. And then I have another list. And then I have a list on... I have like 2 lists on my phone, 2 paper lists on my desk. I have been centralizing the list. So I actually have one centralized list on my notes on my iPod, iPhone, whatever it's called. iDevice.
And then, organize it with the list and give yourself, a schedule. Times to do this. Okay, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to work on this for the next 30 minutes, or I'm going to work on this for the next 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Give yourself, times. So you're like, okay, I'm going to work on this, and it helps you focus on that certain task for that amount of time.
Okay. What about deadlines? Do you think deadlines are good?
Well, I guess it really depends on how you prioritize. So if you're, you always put your the last thing that needs to be done as far as time-wise, the last on the list.
Okay.
And you can also prioritize by the stuff that you can get done quick, so you feel more accomplished.
Fair enough.
Ronnie,
you have any organizational advice?
No, I am not a person to be giving organizational advice.
Fair enough. Well, thank you,
I'd
Patrick.
probably fall into your category now. Although I don't even have lists, I just kind of wing it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I gotcha. I sometimes do that too, even after all this time. But yeah, I'm just, I just wanted to kind of just share real quick because it's just been bothering me. And thanks, Pat, for that advice. I'm going to try to put that into action. There's other things,
Yeah, sure.
I know all the little tricks and I've done them all before, but I'm just kind of going through a season where I'm struggling to be productive at home. But I feel like I'm going to turn a corner. In terms of more gaming, I haven't done a whole lot of gaming, as you guys know, with Lent. I'm doing social-only gaming, no non-social gaming. So as we talked about before, Overwatch. I also have been playing a little bit of Fallout 76. Played with Sheldor the other day, exploring that digital wasteland of West Virginia, fighting hordes of mutants and scorchers and robots. Also, there's like radio stations in Fallout, and our favorite one is Appalachia Radio Music, and it plays songs like Country Roads, and it doesn't play it enough. I need a Country Roads only station on that game because I want to hear it more often. But there's other songs that I find myself like in normal life day to day, like walking through the house or driving down the road, and I just all of a sudden get like Anything Goes is another song that pops up. Do you guys know that song?
I do know that song.
Anything goes. Yeah. That one gets stuck in my head all the time. It's ridiculous. But beyond songs getting stuck in my head and playing Fallout, of course, Overwatch, I did on my cheat day when I could play a game by myself, I did finish and platinum a game called Forma 8. And Patrick will love this game.
What's that?
So you ready? This is my elevator pitch. It's a Wall-E-inspired Metroidvania. I knew you'd be out on that.
No, so I
knew you'd hate that. You'd be like, "Ew."
One, I didn't enjoy Wall-E, but I'm not big on Metroidvania style games where you have to go back and forth and back and forth into old. Yeah.
And I like Guacamelee. I don't know if you've ever played that. That's a really fun Metroidvania.
Okay. I heard that.
And it has a great multiplayer. And by the way, online multiplayer. We could talk about that later.
All right.
Yeah. But this one, like you said, this is like the worst of the Metroidvanias because like the movement, the robot moves really slowly. The surrounding area, like the environment, is really dark and not appealing to the eyes. It's not visually appealing whatsoever, and it's so easy to get lost. The map is like totally so simplified that you know where you are, but you don't. Like it gives you boxes to show what area you're in, but you don't know like where in that area you are. So it's just not. It wasn't fun. I had to use a guide at some point because I was getting I was just getting lost. And so I used a guide to help me get the platinum and kind of get through it. But I will say that in playing it, it made me miss my Vita a little bit. Speaking of the Vita, RIP to the Vita because it stopped manufacturing. And they no longer have free Vita games or PS3 games on PS Plus, which is very sad.
Even so, it still lives in my house.
That's right. And it's in my house too. It still lives on, but it kind of makes me sad. But I still love the Vita. I actually got the Vita because of PS Plus, so it's good stuff. Indeed. So that's all my update. That's all she wrote, and that ends our What's New News. And I think we should just roll right into our topic of the day, fellas. Okay. We are talking about pets. This topic, talking about furry, scaly, fuzzy, happy, crazy, expensive sometimes pets that we've had, that we have, or that we plan to have in the future. This topic was positively inspired by Traffic Popsicle. I cannot say his name right. I even wrote it down so I would say it right. Travis Pospisil.
There it is.
Hey!
Whoa. Not the first time.
Even
All
a broken clock is right twice a day. But this topic was partially inspired by him. He mentioned it a number of weeks or months ago. I don't remember when. But for me, this is also personally and a little negatively inspired by the 1-year anniversary of one of my most recent pet's deaths. It's actually a pet I never owned, but I don't want to give any spoilers. I'll talk about him later. Before we get too personal, let's play Bamboozled Pet Edition.
Awesome.
Are you ready?
I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't wait for this.
So, using the latest statistics from 2018 and little-known facts about pets in the U.S., let's see what you three know or don't know about the wonderful privilege and pleasure of pet ownership. First, to start out, Bamboozled. Ronnie, pick a number between 1 and 10.
9.
Patrick, number between 1 and 10.
2.
Marc, same thing.
4.
Marc, you are going first. You were closest. I'm not going to tell you what the number is, so you're just going to have to trust me.
I don't know if I can do
Crap,
that.
This game sucks.
Patrick was the next closest, and Ronnie was dead last. Congratulations, Ronnie. This will not penalize you in any way in Bamboozled. So, question number 1, starting with Marc. Whoever gets closest to the number without going over, we are going to be basing this on Price of Right rules. You will get a point. Question number 1.
Price of Right?
Is
that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing. Bamboozled.
$1.
Price is Right. So, Marc, what percentage of the U.S. has pets?
I'm gonna say 56.
56%. Patrick.
83%.
Ronnie.
I'm going to go with 57%, Lucas.
Ronnie, you are the winner of this question with
wow.
57%.
Yeah!
The correct answer is 68%, or 85 million families across the United States of America. Next up, we're going to go with Patrick first. Patrick, can you guess the top 3 pets in order of popularity, starting with number 3.
Birds.
Ronnie.
Wait a minute. I got to name number 3 now?
Yes.
Or I got to name number 2?
Number 3.
Fish.
Ah, dang it. That's a good one.
Marc.
Hamsters.
That is quite specific, but Ronnie,
narrow.
you are correct.
Really?
Fish. More
Good
specifically,
one. Yeah.
freshwater fish. Number 2, Ronnie, what do you think is number 2 pet in popularity?
Oh, no. Say cats.
Marc?
Can I also say cats?
Yeah, we might as well go keep it with Ronnie because
Cats.
he got it first.
Yes!
All right. Marc, number 1.
Dogs.
You are correct. You got yourself a point finally. Just to update you, Ronnie has 3 points, Marc has 1, and Patrick has 0. So, Patrick, next question. Can you guess one of the 2 bottom pets in no particular order?
The bottom pets?
Yes, the least popular pets, according to 2017 statistics. Or 2018, sorry.
Sharks.
That is incorrect.
How is that not?
Ronnie.
Do people have those as pets?
These
Have
are
you ever seen Ace
these are
Ventura?
based on pets that people have, and then the least popular of those pets that people have. So go, Ronnie.
No, wait, does Patrick get another chance now?
No, he doesn't get another chance.
We skipped him? I'm
He's,
going to go with lizards.
that is incorrect, Marc. Last chance to get a bottom 2 pet.
Goats.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is saltwater fish and horses.
Oh, Marc, it was all you on that one.
You
Yeah,
are the champion
Yeah,
of
Marc.
riding.
You should have gotten that one, buddy.
Listen, you laugh, but my wife's family owned goats. So, just saying.
Fair enough. All right, Ronnie, next question. Which pet is the greatest in number or population?
Cats.
That is incorrect. Marc,
Can you repeat the question, please?
which
Oh,
pet is
man,
the
I couldn't
greatest
botch
in
this one.
number or population?
Dogs?
Incorrect. Patrick.
Mice.
Oh my gosh. yes.
No, wrap it back around. I get another chance.
You are all incorrect. It is freshwater fish. No one gets
I
any
knew it as
points.
soon as I said cats.
Yep.
Every answer's fish.
Every answer is fish. All right,
This
Marc.
game's rigged.
Next question, Marc. How much money in the billions was spent on animals or pets in 2017?
Fish.
That is incorrect, Patrick.
Only dying.
$32 billion.
Ronnie.
$18 billion.
Patrick was the closest. The correct answer was $69.4 billion. And with
I'm
this,
on the board.
Patrick is on the board with 1 point.
Double
and
jeopardy,
Ronnie
here I come.
still has 3, and Marc with 1. All right.
Name a color. Any color and you win.
Patrick, next question. Do you know which famous, this is the last question, double or nothing. Do you know which famous pet was the first to get pet insurance?
Snake.
Ronnie. That is incorrect, by
Air
the way.
Bud.
That is incorrect. Marc.
Oh man, I need another shot again.
Fish.
Dang it.
Dang it.
You said which famous animal?
That is correct. Famous pet was the first to get. Here's a hint. It was in 1982.
1982. Crap.
That is incorrect. Crap is not the correct answer.
Your
3
pet
seconds. 2 seconds.
Lassie.
It couldn't have been last.
That is correct. Ronnie wins with Lassie.
Yes!
Because Marc took too long. You've been bamboozled, Marc Boucher and Patrick Novosel. Ronnie is our winner. Your check is in the mail. Congratulations, my friend.
This
Oh, no.
game is amazing.
You have won
Oh, no.
Bamboozled.
Ronnie's still bamboozled.
Now I don't have to watch Superman.
No, that's not how that
Nope.
works. That is not how that works. All right, guys.
Reward.
The winner
Woo!
gets to watch Superman.
That's right. That's perfect. I think that's the perfect reward. All right, guys. That is just some silly pet statistics and a fun game of Bamboozled for you. Let's continue by talking about our beginnings, our first wanting of a pet. I think all of us at one point have had a pet. That's correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Fantastic. So we'll talk about just a number of things. So let's start about when our love or interest in pets began. So take yourself back to school. Back to your childhood. Do you guys remember when you first loved pets or wanted a pet or had a desire to have a furry or scaly little creature in your life? Mark?
I can remember I wanted to have like a dog when I was a kid. I don't know the exact age, but like I always wanted to have a dog because all my friends had pets. But my parents wouldn't get a dog or a cat because, number one, my dad was not about that life. He did not want a pet to have to take care of. And also my mom was allergic to, I think, dogs and cats. So we were never allowed to have a dog.
That's sad.
Yeah. But that goes into the first animal I did have. I don't know if you want me to hold off on that.
Yeah, just hold off a moment. I just wanted to get an idea of when you first
Okay.
wanted
Well, that's
pets.
my story.
All right, fair enough. Patrick, how about you?
I don't remember when I wanted a pet, really, when I was a kid, because we always had cats, and I remember us getting a dog when I was like maybe 6 or 7. So I really don't remember when I really wanted a pet.
Ronnie, do you remember? Taking you guys back.
I would say I don't remember not wanting a pet because I think I grew up and most of my family members had dogs, so we always had a dog ever since I can remember.
Fair enough. Yeah, I always wanted a pet too. I loved animals from the beginning, whether those animals were dinosaurs, furry, scaly. God bless you. My dream job when I was a kid was to be a vet. I remember loving to watch movies that had pets or animals in them. Of course, when I look back at it, like Old Yeller and Where the Red Fern Grows and All Dogs Go to Heaven, Marley and Me, which is much later, most of the time the pets die. So those weren't exactly inspiring in getting pets. But at the same time, like, I love those. And I avoided movies like Pet Sematary, Cujo. I did not like crazy, creepy animals.
Homeward Bound, though.
Homeward Bound? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Totally.
Good one.
Totally wanted Two Dogs and a Cat after watching that.
That was good.
But
Especially when
I
it
loved
sounded like Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into our pet history and maybe just do a round robin. Just start with our first pet and then just kind of work our way down the list. I don't know how long your guys' list is. Maybe it's just 1 or 2 animals. I will warn you that I have like 10 animals, but I will not talk extensively or exhaustively about them. But to lead us into our pet discussion, our very own mother of 3, Melanie Novosel, said, "Are you a big dog or a little dog person?" And then to lead us to our discussion about pets, she said, "What kind of pets have you had besides the obvious dog or cat?" I've had a turtle, hamster, and a guinea pig so far, and my favorite of those has been our guinea pig. I think I wanted him as much as our daughter. So we'll get into our first pets. If your first pet happened to not be a dog or cat, that would work great with this question, but then also, of course, mention what kind of non-dog or cat pets you had. So who wants to start?
I guess that'll lead me into my first pets.
Do it.
Because my first pets were not dogs or cats.
Nice.
Although technically I would be a little dog person, just because I like them being able to like come up into, not that big dogs can't get up into your lap, but it's just a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
When little dogs get up in your lap. But in any case, my first pets were actually birds. And we had 3 birds growing up. We had 2, they're called cockatoos.
Yeah.
and they were named Peaches and Herb. They were.
I thought you were going to say
named after
peaches and cream.
No, no. I believe there was a '70s singing group. It was Peaches and Herb.
Okay, cool.
And so they were named after them. And we also had a little lovebird. His name was Sammy. And I used to love those birds. I used to love letting them out of their cages because it was hilarious to watch them fly around. And especially with the two cockatoos, for some reason, like, they couldn't tell. In our living room, we had this like big front window, and they obviously couldn't tell it was a window, that there was like glass there.
Oh, jeez.
And so they would constantly smack into the window.
Nice.
And then I for some reason, I used to have fun. Like, I would like take the birds like into the bathroom and shut the door and like watch them like flying around in the bathroom. I don't know why.
All right.
Why the bathroom?
I don't know.
It
Because it was the smallest room in the house, I guess.
Tormenting these birds.
How old were you?
Jeez.
I was like 6 or 7, something like that.
Did you like try to hit them with water and like peg them with toilet paper balls or something?
No, I didn't go that far.
That's good.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun having those birds.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. But unfortunately,
Bird torture.
Unfortunately, one of the birds, Peaches, she actually had some sort of neurological or mental, some sort of thing
Probably
going
from
on.
hitting the window so many times.
Yeah, probably. But
Jeez.
no, she was like, she would constantly, like, she had some sort of anxiety to where she would constantly pluck herself. She would pluck her feathers out. And to the point where she was like completely bald on around her chest, to the point where like when she would peck herself, she'd bleed.
Oh, it's terrible.
And unfortunately, she ended up dying from that. So that was kind of rough. And then we sold Herb and Sammy. I didn't know there were actually like bird auctions. I didn't know that existed. But yeah, we sold our birds at a bird auction because we just decided to not have them anymore. But that's that.
Okay. Patrick, what was your first pet?
We had like 5 cats when I was growing up. So we had a lot of cats.
Herd of cats.
No, yeah. My dad was a big cat lover. So we had cats.
What were their names
growing up? Shoot, man. Misty, Smokey, Slick.
Are you making those up? Is that real?
No, those are real.
Okay.
Slick is an awesome cat name.
Slick is that's an awesome anything name. I want to name my third child. I'm going to name him Slick.
Now, Slick was like, he wasn't slick. He was a fat cat that pretty much just laid around. And it was kind of like I don't know what kind of word I'm looking for, where it's the name of something that's not slick.
Sloth?
Yeah, he was a sloth.
It's a sloth cat. All right. Kind of like Garfield.
But he was awesome. He just laid around and did pretty much what cats do. He actually would let you rub his belly. He would never attack you. So he was one of the best cats that we had ever had when we were growing up.
How about you, Ronnie? First pet?
Yeah, my first pet was a dog. I would say my first memorable pet was a dog. It was a black lab. His name was Boomer. And I think I got him when I was 11. But like everybody always had dogs in my family, but it was really like the first like family dog. Like 11 years old. Yeah, he was, we had him until, he got hit by a car, which is a terrible story, but, I think he was 8 years old when he died.
Yeah.
He was.
We talked about Boomer in our death episode, right?
Yeah. So Boomer was the first dog that died. Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Boomer. He sounded like a cool dog.
He was awesome. I actually got high school pictures with him too, so that was kind of cool.
Nice. You need to do you still have those pictures?
Yeah.
You need to post those on the Discord, just so you know.
Oh man,
You're contractually obligated to do that.
I'm about to go over to my mother's house and take a picture of the picture on her wall.
That's fine. That works.
She's got a big one.
Cool. My first pet was also a dog. His name was Blackjack. He was a very hyper black and brown Cocker Spaniel. I think I was about 3 or 4 years old at the time. I did not understand at that point. Obviously, I didn't understand anything about pet care, and so he unfortunately, on my part, was kind of neglected because sometimes I just preferred to play with toys, video games. Like I said, he was really hyper, and so when he would, unfortunately, a lot of times he got kept in the basement and kind of got cooped up. My mom didn't have any patience for him, and my dad wasn't home a lot because he worked most of the time during the day. And so, unfortunately, he eventually got sold. I don't think it was at an auction, like Marc's birds got sold in an auction. I actually don't know what my dad did with him. He just said he was going to sell him, and then one day Blackjack was there, and then the next day he wasn't. So I was a little too young to kind of bond with Blackjack. Like I said, he was super hyper, so he never stayed still long enough to kind of just like sit in my lap or cuddle. Like he just always seemed like he was running. Or if we put him downstairs, he was depressed. So he kind of had, I think, psychological issues that I didn't understand about at the time. So
It's cooped up down there, man.
yeah, that poor guy. Looking back on it, I wish I just would have had like the awareness to kind of be like, to kind of tell my mom, hey mom, can we let Blackjack out or can I take him on a walk? But I just, I was 3 or 4 years old. I didn't know what was going on. I was just like,
Yeah, you're not even really interested that much.
if the dog wasn't in front of in my view, I just did whatever was around. So if there were toys around, I played with toys. If TV was on, I was watching TV. And so that was Blackjack. He was a cool dog, but my time with him got cut short. My second pet actually answers Melanie's question, because my second pet was not a dog or a cat. I am a big dog guy, by the way, which I think we talked about this during the controversial episode, if I remember. So look back, controversial episode. I don't remember which number it is. We talk about big dogs or little dogs, but I'm a big dog guy. But my second pet was not a dog or a cat. It was a turtle, and his name was Spot. I named him because I got him when I was 4 years old. I named him because obviously he had spots on his back. It was that simple.
Good name.
Yeah. And I had that turtle, let me tell you, he's the longest living pet I've had. He lasted from 4 years old until 18 years old when I graduated from high school. He was a snapping turtle. He definitely tried to bite me on a number of occasions. He did not like being held, but he was so cool. He occasionally escaped from his aquarium, and he definitely scared my mom a few times. Those lightning fast turtles that just kind of sneak up on you. I remember a number of times, though, that he would escape, and then like an hour later, my mom would be screaming, standing on the bed, and there he is crawling around the bed, like super slow. He's like, hey, guys. And my mom's like, oh, my gosh, get the turtle. It was really funny.
How big was he?
He was probably like this big. I'm doing a Marc. No, he was, I would say he was as big
For
as
those unable to watch at home.
His shell was probably as long as an iPhone 6 Plus and as wide as, I don't know, 2 hands put together. I don't know.
How big are these hands?
Yeah, they're
4-year-old
big
hands?
these
Big
hands
or
right
small
here. He was a medium-sized snapping turtle. I don't think
What
he
is
was
a large or a small one? I can't.
I could hold him with one hand.
So where I grew up, like there
When
are
I was
snapping
18.
turtles and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of them get like as large as like garbage can lids.
Okay,
Like,
no, he was
gigantic.
definitely not as large
So I was
as
thinking,
garbage.
when you said snapping turtle, I'm like, yeah, no wonder that scared your mom. That's like an alligator climbing in there.
Okay, no, he was not that. He was a small snapping turtle. Probably his shell was the size of
A CD?
like 2 CDs kind of overlapped to make it
Two
make
CDs stood up in a triangle.
Shut your face. No, 2 CDs overlapped to make an oval. So like if you overlap the CDs and it made an oval.
Some interesting units of measurement here.
2.5 CDs.
It is almost midnight here, okay? Sometimes my brain doesn't work when it's close to midnight. But anyways, in any case, he was a medium-sized snapping turtle. He one of the cool things he did whenever we had company over, we would get a moth from one of the, like when you have porch lights, you get moths that fly around it, and we would catch a moth. We would rip off one of the wings, and then we would throw the moth in the aquarium, and it would buzz around in the water like a little boat, and then Spot would slowly creep up on the moth, like super slow, but he would always keep his face right in front of it as it buzzed around the water, and then he would snap at it super quick and then just kind of chew it up. It was really cool. It entertained all of us multiple times.
Sounds terrible for the moth, though.
Well, yeah, for the moth it was terrible for sure. And then occasionally we would treat him.
Just a brutal end.
we would give him a special treat, and we would buy him feeder fish, which are pretty much just small goldfish, and we would fill up his tank, and over the course of a couple days he would just eat those goldfish. And ironically, that led to his death, because as he got older, he lost his ability to control himself. And when I was 18, we got him some feeder fish, and he ate all of them at once, like within a 30-minute period.
Like how many of them were there?
There was at least 6 or 7 of them, and he just. Because we had just always done it, and he was always able to like eat them little by little. And this time he just decided, I want all of them, and he ate them all up. I was like, dude, that is super fast. Good job, man. Well, then a couple hours later, he barfed all of them up, and then he died. It was really sad, and he's buried under my back porch, and he still is there to this day in a little shoebox. Speaking of turtles, before you guys get into your second pets, the Elusive Man on the Discord. Yes, speaking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Elusive Man on the Discord said, as a child, I had a turtle named Michelangelo. I was so
nice.
I was so proud of him. I used to put him in a cardboard box and sit outside my apartment building and show him off until some jerk kids came and thought it wasn't cool and picked him up and threw him on the sidewalk. That is awful.
Oh,
what?
No.
That breaks my heart. Los, you need to tell us who these people are. We're going to hunt them down and throw them on the ground. He said, I remember him not coming out of his shell. It gets darker.
The GMG lynch mob coming after him.
Look out.
I took him and threw him on the ground.
We are here for our community members, so we are here for Los. He continues and says, I remember him not coming out of his shell and me being scared and praying he'd be okay. And a few minutes later, he came to. And as for now, we have a 13. Oh, he came to when I guess he lived. I don't know what happened after that. He immediately switches and says, and as for now, we have a 13-year-old husky named Anakin. I wonder if that's named after Anakin Skywalker.
I don't think so. Probably named after the turtle.
I don't think so.
Just always make sure you have the high ground.
That's right. So those are
I don't know what happened to this turtle.
I know.
I thought
right?
he was going to say we have a 13-year-old turtle.
I know. That's what I thought too. I was like, wow, a miracle.
It's kind of like Pat's battery story.
It's the same exact thing.
I hate you.
I hate you. So guys, share your next pet in your timeline of pets. What else did you have besides your first pet?
Wait a second. What? Just sharing pets?
What was the question?
Have you had any other pets besides the first pet you ever owned? Has there been a second pet? A third pet?
Well, technically I didn't own this pet, but I guess I technically lived with this pet because it was my sister's dog.
They're going to say it was my sister.
Jackie, I'm sorry.
I'm editing it just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, cut out my sister's dog and just put my sister, and we'll just leave it at that. Sorry.
Yikes.
Sorry, Mark, continue.
No, it was my sister's dog. He was a liver spotted Dalmatian. Actually, it was a she, pretty sure. Yeah, it was a she.
Okay.
And her name was Willow. And she was a very good dog, of course. She shed a lot. I think my parents, to this day, still find her hair in, like, their shoes and stuff like that. Because this dog shed like nobody's business. But She was a really chill dog. I didn't know her for very long, and then unfortunately, after my sister moved out and stuff, unfortunately Willow passed away. But for a brief time, she was a good dog for sure, and that's it.
Patrick, Ronnie, did you have any other pets? Second, third, fourth pets?
Well, when my wife and I started dating, there was a stray cat, and this cat was it was a calico cat, and she was very pretty. She was very lovable, and she had, I would say, the smallest paws you would ever see on a cat. It had kitten paws.
She's quite dainty.
Yes, very dainty. And this now let me back up to my experience with cats. So I'm allergic to cats, but I absolutely love them.
You had
I love
5 cats when you were a kid.
Yeah, I know. And
how are you alive?
I'm always sneezing. I'm always blowing my nose around cats. If I ever touch a cat, I know that I cannot touch my face. I have to immediately wash my hands. But I'll do that because I do love cats. But we had this cat, and this cat was one of the nicest cats. It was a stray cat, had already had all of its shots. It was a declawed cat, so it was someone's cat at some point. But it would always come around my parents' house, and it came around my parents' house for, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks, and then we decided just to bring it in. And this was a cat that we had for, I would say, maybe 9-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But this cat had one huge flaw. It would poop everywhere. And it wasn't normal poop. It was the runny poop. Everywhere. So if like cats, if you get them in a litter box, they're supposed to poop in the litter box. This cat would just stand in the litter box and then poop outside the litter box.
Ah.
I mean, it was like huge flaw, but we had to look past it because this cat was one of the best cats that I've ever had. I remember one time when we had bought our house and we were getting cable put in. The cable guy came in, and he had moved the big credenza where we had our big screen TV on. He had moved it, and he was like drilling holes. And we were in the kitchen, Mel and I, and we were just chatting. And the installer comes in, and he's like, he just looks at us, and he's like, your cat just, and I'm like, oh no. So this cat just like walks up to him right where he's drilling a hole and just takes a big dump right next to this. And I'm like, oh gosh. And it's like whenever she would go, it's just like, oh, that's a huge stain. Huge stain.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it was absolutely awful.
You had this cat for 9 or 10 years?
That's
a lot of runny poop.
It was, but it was one of the things where, like, even with all that, because this cat was so like nice, so lovable, it would. I mean, as this cat was declawed, it would bring up shrews and birds and leave them on the porch as presents for
little presents and trophies. Yeah, cats are considerate like that.
And every time that she would bring these animals, dead animals, on our porch, I'm like, how in the world did you do this without front claws? I'll tell you what, this cat was a menace. But she would just walk around and
had a little pocket knife, had a little Swiss Army pocket knife, with just like little butterfly knife. Yeah, just like
switchblade,
knife and shrews.
Yeah. So her name was Lily, and my wife took a photography class, and just like one of her like projects, she took like a whole bunch of pictures of Lily. Her name was
pooping
Lily,
everywhere
around. No. But yeah, it was absolutely one of my favorite cats I've ever had. Yeah.
Nice. Ronnie, what was your next pet?
So I had 2 sets of dogs. actually. So before I moved out of my parents' house, we had gotten 2 more labs after Boomer. That was Mac and Duke. It was a black and a yellow lab. One of them is still with us. The other one, he got like a, what did he get? He got like a sarcoma, I think it's called. It's like a fast-growing like tumor. Cancer thing.
Oh, okay,
He was almost 11 when he got it, so he was, he lived very.
He was up there.
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I was married, I had 2 small dogs, kind of like Marc's dog. They were 12 and 14 pounds. But I don't have them now. I'm basically never home. So at the house currently, I have 2 outside cats. I just call them garage cats because I actually have a cat door on the side of my garage. So
Do they bring you prizes too? Do they knife the the local animals?
They don't need knives. They're not declawed. They are.
Oh, okay.
They are tigers out there. Yeah, they bring back a lot of stuff.
Dragging deer carcasses to your house and.
Yeah, and if you've ever had like cats that go outside, they always they always leave them like on the stairs where you enter or like on a walkway, so you definitely notice them. Like cats will actually bring you prizes, and put them where they know you go. So yeah, those are completely unavoidable, and unfortunately, they really only like the really helpless, defenseless animals.
Yeah,
like chipmunks are just almost top target out there.
They're predators.
They are total predators.
Predators always go for the weak.
It's mice and chipmunks, and those are all the things that I find normally. Every now and then birds, but I actually got them. Because there was a giant snake in my garage. I don't know if I mentioned that on here before.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think
giant
so.
snake in my garage one time when we came home, and I'm scared to death of snakes. So
you just threw your cats in there and said, "Sick 'em."
Well, we always had cats growing up. Like my parents had horses and stuff, but we always had to have. You have to have like cats in a horse barn, or there's like just every animal.
You get overrun with all the rodents and such.
You always have a couple of cats. So I was like, even though I live in like a subdivision, I was like, I'm just gonna get cats for outside. So, and actually they kind of patrol the entire cul-de-sac that I live in. So
did you say their names? I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Their names are Ash and Willow.
Oh, okay. Another Willow.
Nice.
Yeah. They actually get stuck in the neighbors' garages sometimes. If the garage is open, they'll go in and sleep on the neighbor's car.
Oh, yeah.
The neighbor will close the garage for the night. And
been there.
She'll just let me know, hey, like Ash was stuck in the garage again last night. And I'm like, thanks. Like he's an idiot. At
least your neighbor's cool about it.
Yeah, she really likes him, actually. He probably likes her more than he likes me. He just knows that I feed him.
I believe that.
So, they are best buds.
Cool. Well, for me, my stint of not standard pets continued from Spot, my turtle. Actually, while Spot was still alive, my third pet was a hamster. And the inspiration for getting my hamster was from the movie The Witches. Do you guys remember that movie, or did you ever see that movie from, I think, the early 90s, late 80s?
That's the one where those kids are in that hall and all the women reveal themselves to be like witches?
Yes. So in the movie, the main boy, he has 2 rats, and I think at some point he turns into a rat. I don't remember the movie now very well. I haven't seen it in a long time. But the kid had 2 rats, and I thought, man, it would be cool to have some rodents. I don't know why I thought it would be cool, but I just saw the movie and I was like, Dad, I want some rats. And my dad's like, you are not getting rats. and looking back now, I would have said the same exact thing. I would have been like, over my dead body, we'll get a dog or a cat. We're not getting rats. And so we had we made a, what is it when you make a win-win kind of situation? He kind of gave in and said, okay, I won't get you a rat, but I'll get you a hamster. He said, okay, let's get a hamster. So we went to the pet store and we bought the cages. We bought the cage. We looked at all the little hamsters and I was like, I want that one. So I picked out the hamster, and while we were in the car, he had like a little box container he was in, and I would just open the lid and kind of look at him. And while he was in the box, he kept trying to dig through the box. And so because of that, I gave him the name Digger, and that was his name. From there, while he was trying to dig out of the box, while we were driving home, I decided to pick him up to say hello, and he bit me. And then
Oh,
I threw him back in the box, and I said, "Oh, this is not what I expected." So we got home, and we set up the cage, put all the little fluffy stuff in the bottom, that they're supposed to pee on and poop on, and set up the little, the little tubes that go up, the little wheel in the back. And I was like, okay, let's get this hamster out and put him in here. And I picked him out of the box to put him in the cage, and he bit me again. So I threw him in the cage and put the lid down, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to do with this hamster. He keeps biting me. And so I just started to watch him in the cage, and he just kind of walked around. He'd poop, he'd pee, he'd run on the little wheel. Sometimes he'd go in the tube. And after a couple more days, I'd be like, I'm going to pick this hamster up again. And I'd pick up Digger, and he'd bite me again. And I'm like, this is not cool. I do not like this hamster. So
you should rename him Biter.
Yeah, pretty much I should have renamed him to Biter. But long story short, he probably lasted about 6 months. Not only did I not like him, my mom hated him. And again, my dad was never home, so he didn't really have an opinion. But there was a number of times he came home from work. The hamster had escaped. My mom again was standing on the bed screaming. The turtle, the hamster, they were all like in the bedroom attacking her. And eventually, Digger died in the tube that he took to go up to his little bathroom up in his cage. Like he had an area that he liked to relieve himself. And one day I went to his cage to see what he was up to, and he was just in the tube. And I'm like, what's he just doing in there? He's not moving. And so I tapped on the tube, tap, tap, tap. He didn't move. And after a couple minutes, I was like, oh, he died going to the bathroom. What a way to go. And I took his cage, put it in a big garbage bag, and put it out front for the trash man to come get him. The end of Digger.
Wow.
Yeah.
what a proper burial.
Yeah. Digger did not have a nice ending. Speaking of not a nice ending, that leads into my second set of pets, or my fourth set of pets at this point. When I was in college, my sophomore year, some friends and I said, hey, let's get some fish. And we had a friend that had an aquarium, and there were 4 or 5 of us, and we were like, yeah, let's all get some fish. Let's kind of pitch in and get whatever we need to get this aquarium up and running and go to Walmart and get some fish. So we went to Walmart. Have any of you guys owned fish before?
I have.
Probably at one point, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
So Ronnie would know maybe of the process of what you need to do to properly not only just, set up the fish tank, but also get the fish accustomed to their new environment. We didn't. We were sophomores in college, and we just wanted fish in our apartment. So we went to Walmart. We all bought a different fish. Some, like 4 of the guys bought random fish. I bought like a medium-sized tetra, a blue tetra fish. Another guy bought a very small blue-red tetra, and then the last guy bought a shark.
It's like a battle royale story.
That's what it sounds like.
So you can imagine where this is going to go. So not only did we not measure the water temperature, not only did we not get the fish to slowly get accustomed to the new environment, we pretty much got back to our apartment, threw all the fish into the tank, and then just watched them for a little bit. And then after that, after like 20 minutes, we were like, well, this is it. We got our fish. Let's go to class. Let's go do our thing. A day later, 2 of the fish are already belly up. And then another day later, the shark eats the mini tetra. And he's swimming around with this huge stomach that looks like he should be pregnant, but he was not pregnant. He had eaten our other friend's mini tetra. And so on the 3rd day, all the fish had died except the shark. And my friend that had the mini tetra in the shark's stomach said, well, if your shark's going to be the last one, he deserves to be punished. And he grabbed the shark, threw it in the toilet, and flushed it.
Oh my goodness.
The end.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Yikes.
Yeah. So that was the end of my first
College.
Yeah, that was the end of college. No, that was the last pets I got in college. Then after
Wow.
that, I actually got pets. I got fish again on my own. But do you guys have any more pets that you wanted to share about that you have had or have? We've already met some of your pets, like Cisco. But what other pets have you had that you want to share about?
So I had a couple of other pets before I got Cisco. Had a hamster, and her name was Ginger. Had her for quite a while, and then ended up selling Ginger. I did not really care for that hamster. Like, she was okay, but it wasn't really that exciting to me to have a hamster. So, and then I had a Border Collie Beagle mix, and her name was Isley, like Mos Eisley from Star Wars.
Nice.
And she was a very good dog, but the apartment we were staying in, you know, if you think about it, Border Collie Beagle mix, those are very active dogs. They need the space. They need to be able to run around. You know, they just need to be active all the time, and that was something we couldn't really give her in the apartment that we lived in. So we ended up finding another home for her with a family that had plenty of land for her to run around. But I loved Isley. Unfortunately, she destroyed a lot of our furniture because she was bored. She'd like to gnaw on it. But she was a good dog for sure. And of course, now I have Cisco, and he's a very good boy.
Who's a good boy?
Patrick, what about you, buddy?
The another one that comes to mind is the current dog that we have right now, Maggie. She is about 10 years old. She is a lap dog, which, back to Melanie's question, yeah, I am a lap dog. I'm a small dog kind of guy. I don't really care for the big dogs, but she's a small dog. She's a cross between a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel and a Catan. Basically, she's just a small cotton ball.
There you go.
And she does not have a harmful bone in her body. She's very submissive. So no matter who comes to her or what comes to her, she will fall over, lay on her back, and expect a belly rub.
Nice.
That's pretty much what she expects. So we absolutely love her. She doesn't bark too much. Obviously, when we get stuff delivered to our house, I mean, she barks. I mean, what dog doesn't? But other than that, I mean, she doesn't bark. She is very friendly. She loves everyone. No matter who comes to the door, a stranger, if she knows them, she will wag her tail and just want pets from those people. So she's so great. That's Maggie. I absolutely love her.
Good old Maggie.
Great. Well, when we got her, we were looking at a website for all the different pets that you can adopt. And I was like, all right, Mel, look at this website, take a look at all the dogs that are out there, and I'll take a look at all the dogs out there. You know, mark the ones that you like, and we'll mark the ones that I like, and then we'll come together and we'll figure out which ones we want. And both of us pretty much only circled one dog, and it was this dog. So we knew right from the start that it was our dog, and it turned out to be great. I don't think any other dog is going to be like this. So yeah, we absolutely love this dog.
Nice. Ronnie?
I'm all out of pets.
All out of pets. All right. Well, I'll try to keep it minimal in information, but I do have a number of other pets that I will just mention. So after college, I got educated and got some fish. I got a couple tetras, a cute little snail that I called Speedy, a vegetarian shark that I called Diego, and a Plecostomus, which are those glass-sucking fish, and I called him.
What did the vegetarian shark eat? Like celery?
Yep. Straight up celery. I just threw little
whole thing
chunks
in there?
of celery. Nah, just the whole thing, and he'd just nibble on it.
And one day he ate too much celery.
Yeah, and then he died. No, I only say he's a
The
vegetarian
end.
shark because he never ate the other. He never ate the other fish or messed with them. He was a nice, very, very nice, non-aggressive shark. But I had a Plecostomus named Hoover, and they were my little friends, and I enjoyed their company until an ice storm hit the city I was living in at the time, knocked out the power for 3 days in the middle of winter, and I unfortunately got so cold that I needed to go stay in another city with some friends where they had power. And when I came back 3 days later, they were ice cubes.
Oh,
Goodness.
Yeah, so as I've looked back in my pet history, I have found that much tragedy has happened in my pet ownership life. Partially self-inflicted. Yeah, abandonment and neglect. Jeez. From there, and this is, so to catch you up after college, there was like a 9-month period where I was a bachelor. I wasn't with Mindy. We had broken up. We were kind of on a break, as Ross would say. I didn't, make dumb decisions that Ross made, but we were on a break.
Did she write a 18-page letter, front and back?
Front and back. No, she didn't. But during that time, I not only had the fish, but I also finally fulfilled my dream of living out that movie I mentioned earlier in The Witches, and I got 2 rats. I got a little gray rat called Fievel, and his little sister, a black mouse called Lola. And I had them for about 2 months. They grew up, and then to my horror, they had 6 babies.
no.
Oh, it was quite the shock when Lola started to get bigger in the belly, and I thought, Fievel, what did you do? And once I had 8 rats, I quickly realized that was a mistake. So I gave them back to the people that originally had given them to me, just because I had mentioned offhandedly one day that I wanted pet rats, and they said, here, have 2. And so they went back to the farm, quote unquote, and they were very soon fed to this family's pet snake. The end of my rats.
Wow.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't have
I
any.
can't believe you didn't hold on to one of them to help you like start a restaurant or something.
Can't believe you didn't strangle one of them.
Or hit it with my car. Yeah, well. Well, after that, I got back with Mindy, and she set me straight. No tragedy, no pets for a little bit. But eventually, after about 3 years of marriage, we got a 10-month-old German Shepherd called Hope. And she was the sweetest, most annoying dog ever. Kind of like what Marc mentioned, she had a little separation anxiety. At one point, she ate the first portion of the Pentateuch in my Bible. She ate a blender and passed the cord and the plug through her body, out her rear end.
What? Hold on. Ate a blender?
She didn't eat the actual blender. She ate the cord of the blender.
I was like, what?
And she crapped the cord. And one day I saw her run around the backyard, and I saw a plug like swinging out her behind, and I'm like, what is that? And I pulled it out, and there it was. And then finally, the straw that broke the camel's back, she ripped up my carpet. And so from there, I realized I needed to crate train her and help her deal with her separation anxiety. From there, the most crazy thing that happened is one day she got sick, and she got sick of all the places she could get sick in the house. She got sick on our bed, and that was not cool. But overall, Hope was a joy to have. She was very obedient. She learned lots of tricks. Unfortunately, our friendship came to an end, though, when we came to Brazil, and it was much too expensive to bring her with us, and so we sold her. And unfortunately, the only tragedy that happened was that I have no idea what happened to her. Like, we sold her to the owners, and they stopped communicating with us. I have no idea if she's alive, and well. At this point, she would be about 9 or 10 years old. But for the time we had her, Hope was a good little dog, and she was our best little buddy. And we've tried 2 times since living in Brazil to have dogs. The first one that we got in Brazil was a black lab, kind of like Ronnie's, named Chaucer. And after 3 days, he got distemper, had seizures, and died.
Oh my gosh.
And then, as I mentioned, I think in past episodes, and as I mentioned at the very beginning of the topic, we had it wasn't actually our dog, but it was a dog that we were hoping to have someday when we got settled down in Sao Paulo, a German Shepherd mix that they called Shannon, but I called Shadow because I thought Shannon wasn't a very good name for a boy dog. He was sweet like Hope, and he also died of seizures. And so, and that happened a year ago. at the end of February.
Goodness.
Yeah. But you know what? Ronnie and I are not the only ones to face tragedy in pet ownership.
I'm just glad your pet's list is over because that is just like a horror story of endings.
Yeah. When I was writing it down and thinking about it, I was like, man, maybe I need to just kind of retire this whole pet ownership thing because I must be cursed.
You talked about avoiding watching movies like Pet Sematary. You literally
I lived it.
have. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. That's true. I never thought about that. Oh, that's sad. I'm going to go cry now. No, but
Yeah. Chad Fackler had posted something on I don't know if it was Twitter or Facebook. I can't remember.
He did.
But he posted a picture of one of the toughest things or the worst things about owning a dog is saying goodbye. And yeah, I mean, like, oh my gosh, thinking about my dog Maggie, I'm like, man, that's going to be a really, really tough day.
yeah, for sure. It is.
Yep.
And there were actually a couple people that they mentioned tragedies they went through. Ash Ingram on our Discord, she said, I've had a variety of pets in my life so far. My first ever pet was a desert tortoise called Roman. I've had rats. I'm not the only one. Gerbils, cats, and a dog. Right now, I just have one cat. Her name is Kyson, and she's 8. She's your typical cat. Pet her. She loves it, and after around 4 strokes, she bites, but I still love her.
Standard cat.
Yeah, don't overdo it. I had a dog, Perry, who unfortunately we lost to cancer October of last year. That was a really tough time losing Perry. I noticed a small lump on his head last June, so had it checked out. The vet took a biopsy sample from the lump to have it analyzed. A week later, we were told the horrible news that it was cancerous. The lump started to grow. We took him in for radiotherapy once a week for a month. Unfortunately, the lump started to shrink some, but then unfortunately started to grow again. And the radiotherapy combined with his chemo made his hair to start falling out. Throughout all of this, he was still his normal, loving, and playful self. It's like he didn't know he was sick. But he started to go downhill in October, and he lost control of his bladder. His eye that was below the tumor closed shut, and we decided it was time to say goodbye to him and end his suffering. He was such a good boy, and I miss him every day. Perry was only 5 years old, and he had many more years left in him. And while his life was short, I know that he had a happy life where he was very much loved. He now has his own little space on the TV unit shelf with his ashes and a picture of him. We also have a painting of him that his groomer so kindly had made for us as a present when he passed.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow. What a story. Travis Popsicle had this to share on the Discord. He said, we had this absolutely insane old man neighbor that for some reason hated our pets. One day, our Mabel, a female purebred boxer, was doing her business in the yard, like dogs do, and he walked up and shot her.
What?
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
That is
Holy
crazy.
crap.
So the bullet went in her side and out her abdomen. We, of course, rushed her to the vet and pressed charges on him. The dog lived another 10 years after that.
Oh, good.
And she
In
ended
your
up,
face, old man.
That's right,
Yeah,
old man neighbor.
Jeez.
We gotta hunt him down too. Get the GMG lynch mob to go after this
Throw
guy.
him on the ground.
Throw him.
For sure.
No, we do what he does to the pet. No. Is that
An eye for an eye.
Is that too far? He said 10 years after that, she ended up being put down from a tumor she had. What a great dog she was. The neighbor only got a $50 fine and a slap on the wrist because he went to school with the judge. And also allegedly, he poisoned 2 of our cats and another boxer, but never got caught. He was an absolute nightmare. He actually died of pancreatic cancer about 5 years ago. I didn't feel sorry for him. I'm more of a cat person now. I love how he just goes right by that.
Oh, dang.
Oops.
gloss
He
over
said,
that.
Morris, his cat, is about 22 pounds, and Pepper is a maniac. I love all animals. I managed and owned 2 different pet stores when I was in my 30s. Loved every minute of it. Wow. What stories those were.
What? That's insane.
Did you guys ever have any neighbors that did not deal well with your pets?
Yes, I do. So when I was growing up, we had this cat, Lucy, and she was a cat that would not let you pet her. She would like grab you by the forearm and then use her back legs just to scratch you.
Hi.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, And so yeah, she was like not the nicest cat. But she was an outdoor cat, indoor cat. She would roam around, come back, and we would let her in. Nothing. We never kept tabs on her. Then one day, like our neighbors were not very nice neighbors, and our cat loved to go over there to their garden. And one day, we look outside and we notice our cat is like laying in the bushes, in our bushes. And we go out there and we notice that her eye is just like out of her socket. And we
What?
immediately look like it looked like someone had kicked her.
Oh, no.
Like, or had hit her really, really hard. Enough to her eye was just hanging out. So we immediately rushed her to the vet. They had done some surgery and unfortunately she had lost her eye. And so she had to have stitches and all that stuff. But after that, she ended up being one of the nicest cats. She was very chill. She would love being petted. She loved eating Doritos. I mean, there's so many memories with this cat. But yeah, she lived another, I don't know, I would say another 7 years after that. After that horrible accident. But yeah, that we did not like our neighbors after that, because we could never prove that they were the ones that had hurt her. And it could have been a car, it could have been anything. But the way our neighbors acted with our cat, we only could deduce that it was our neighbors. But
Wow, that's
but
crazy.
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely crazy. Any other neighbor stories? Going once, going twice. Sold. So after all of our experiences with crazy neighbors, all of our pets, whether they were tragedies or ended on a high note, Sheldor wants to know two things. First, are you guys cat or dog people?
Both.
Yeah, I can do both.
Dog.
I'm also dog. Also, he wanted to know your gamer tags. Why did you pick them?
Okay.
We are
random. Okay.
You're gonna have to listen back for mine. We already went through this.
We did.
Irrelevant.
Yep. Refer back to, when was it you talked about your new gamer tag, Ronnie? That was...
I think it was like 3 episodes ago.
Yep.
Maybe?
So refer back to 3 episodes ago, Sheldor, or any of the others listening. My gamer tag is Swisher Sweets, and
Back when you were smoking cigars.
yeah, no. My best friend
Light 'em
Tom,
up, baby.
my best friend Tom, back in the U.S., he actually bought me an Xbox 360 as when I first got back into gaming, and he made my gamer tag for me, and he just randomly picked Swisher Sweet 71. So I stuck with it. I always liked it.
Interesting.
Yeah. How about the rest of you guys?
Musique is the French word for music, which is a big thing I'm into, obviously. And
It's in your heart.
Mm-hmm. And 829 is my birthday. So, pretty
There
simple.
you go.
Well, that's going to be easy to remember.
Yeah. Born August 1929. Fantastic.
So mine is Hollywood Bones, and there's a little bit of a backstory behind this. So my buddy and I we were friends. We started being friends, I think, in sophomore year in high school. And we immediately became really good friends. We had the same humor, same interests, and so forth. And years passed, and he started to become an MMA fighter. And he would always go to the gym, dressed really nice, hair fixed, wearing sunglasses. And his nickname that his MMA buddies gave him was Hollywood. And me, I was a very skinny kid, and I had many nicknames, and one of them was Bones because of my skinny nature, and so that was just a couple nicknames that we were given. And when Rock Band came out for PS3 and Xbox 360, you had the ability to make your own band name, your own band logo. So we were just like, racking our heads like, what do we want to name our band? And it ended up being just Hollywood Bones. Just put them both together, and that's what I use. I used to have my gamer tag on Xbox 360 used to be Houday. because of I'm from Cincinnati and that's the Bengals. But I had changed it to Hollywood Bones after I had gotten a PS3. After naming my PSN ID to Hollywood Bones, so I decided to marry them both together and make it Hollywood Bones.
Nice.
For both.
Very good. Tim Paullin wanted to answer Sheldor's question. He said dogs for the win, but he also wanted to continue with random gaming questions and said, what headsets do you all use? And then Xbox or PlayStation?
I have a Hyperion X. I really don't know what it is. I feel like it's a Hyperion X. It's a wired one that I had gotten at Best Buy early last year when I decided that I wanted to play multiplayer games. So I decided to get a headset, and I just saw one. I was like, that looks nice. Has X in the name. It's got to be good. So I'm going to go ahead and get it. Of course.
Ronnie, did you just look at your headphones to see what they are?
Yep.
What do you got?
They are Turtle Beach.
I've heard good things about Turtle Beach. And pet related. Very good job.
Yeah,
Hey.
that.
Yeah, bonus points. I have broken Sony earbuds. The best.
Sweet.
Yeah, you need to upgrade for sure.
I definitely need to upgrade for sure. Mark, what do you got?
I am rocking some Turtle Beach headphones as well.
Nice. Turtle Beach for the win. All right, we have a couple more stories from our Discord friends and a few more, just another thing to wrap things up. So Arctic Warlocks, Matt said, I love pets, and they love me because I am awesome. Way to be humble, Matt. When I go to other family members' houses, I have a blast with them, but I don't own any pets. This is the story of why we have no pets in my house. When my wife and I bought the house some 16 years ago, we bought it in February. The previous owner had a small lapdog, and when we moved in, I had to navigate the minefield in the backyard, picking up old dog number 2 droppings as if I owned a 1-foot-wide lawnmower after all the snow melted. Doing that, I almost gagged and dry heaved a quarter of the way through the backyard. I said to myself there that I don't want any pets. Now I know some pet owners would think that's a lame excuse, and it is, because I like telling the story. The real reason is that my 11-year-old son is allergic to a ton of stuff, and he is currently getting 2 shots a week at the allergist office. Now, this made me think real quick. Do you guys have any pets, someone else's pets, that have messed with you or you didn't have a good relationship that maybe kind of affected your viewpoint of those animals? Like for me, I had a friend of a friend who had a Romerweiner. Romerweiner, is that right?
Weimaraner?
Weimaraner. Thank you, Romerweiner. I think I mixed Rottweiler and Weimaraner. He had a Weimaraner, and that dog literally bit me in the butt when I met him the first time I met him. Like, he growled at me, and I tried to keep my cool, and he just hauled off and bit me in the butt. Like, he slipped around and just honk, like, bit me in the butt. It was not cool. You guys have any bad run-ins with people's pets?
I do. And was my wife's dog. And this dog was like, they called it a shredder dog because it would just like shred everything. Yeah. From paper to whatever. It was, it's what a dog, if a dog loves to do that, a dog loves to do that. It's just what they are. But there was one time where it came up to me and it put its paws on my leg, and I decided to pet the dog. It was like, it's coming up to me. It wants to get petted, so I decided to pet it. And it was wagging its tail and everything, so I continued to pet it. But after maybe about, I don't know, the 6th or 7th swipe of its back, it decided to go all cat mode on me and go crazy.
Oh, no.
So,
and shred you?
Like, it was on its hind legs, front legs on my thigh. You could imagine where this dog's face was. So it just goes full-on cat mode on me and bites me in my upper inner thigh. I would say really, really close to the good stuff. And I was like, okay. I stopped petting it, obviously. And I was like, I am never petting you again. And I think on accident, I petted it once as it came up to me years later. But yeah, I was like, nope, I'm never going to let that happen again. So yeah, that was the last time I pet that dog.
Dang.
that I could unconsciously remember.
Jeez.
Screw that. No thanks.
Yeah,
that was
for
dangerous.
sure. Mark, how about you, buddy? Any run-ins with other people's pets?
Yeah, so my brother, when I was in high school, my brother had a pit bull Rottweiler mix, and his name was Seamus. And
Nice.
One time
that's a cool name.
Yeah. One time I was sitting in my mom's car and I had the window down, because we were talking. My brother was standing outside the car because he just happened to see us as we were leaving. I think we were leaving a restaurant, and he had his dog with him. And all of a sudden, the dog, and I had my arm, up against the, like, on top of the door where normally the window is.
Right.
And he immediately jumped up and latched onto my arm. And thankfully, my jacket was padded enough to where I didn't get hurt, but he ripped a nice little hole in my jacket, which I was upset with because I liked that jacket. Thankfully he was able to, pull him back on the leash pretty quick, because he had one of those, like, heavy duty chain chokers.
Right.
So he didn't really do any damage to me, but of course he messed up my jacket, and I was not a fan of that dog after that.
I don't imagine so.
No way.
Yeah, that's not cool. So I don't want to end on a negative note. So let's real quick try to cover. Did you guys or do you guys have any dream pets or pets that you would like to own someday, or if money wasn't an issue, or if your wife would let you? What is a pet that you would love to have?
I think for me, it would be either a corgi, or there's actually these little, they kind of look like poodles, but they're not. They're called
noodles?
Horses.
No.
Labradoodles. Labradoodles.
No. If you just hang tight a second, I'll tell you.
Fish.
No. No. They're called Bichon Frisés.
Enchanté.
Yeah. Which is French for fuzzy lapdog. That's literally what that means.
No way.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But yeah, they're not two poodles to where, like, they're, like, dainty looking and stuff. They're like cute little lap dogs. And I had some friends who owned a couple, and they were just really fun dogs to have. So
cool. Patrick, I see you thinking real hard over there. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I don't really have a dream pet. I just hope that I get another, because the inevitable will happen where our dog is going to pass. So my dream is to have another dog like our current dog.
I hope when I come visit that I get to rub Maggie's tummy.
She's gonna let you.
I can't wait. Can't wait. While I'm not a small dog animal, as I've talked about before, there are some small dogs that when they're like sweet like that, I love them, and it doesn't matter their size or it always comes down to personality. Like I just like big dogs because generally they have the personality that just clicks with me. But when there are little dogs
such good boys.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there's little dogs that aren't like too yippy or aren't too skittish or whatever, and they're just like kind of low key and sweet and stuff. Yeah, I look forward to meeting Maggie, and maybe I'll even meet Cisco. You never know. But for me, my dream animals. The dream animal that's no longer a dream animal, but I have to shout out to the ferret. When I was a kid, again, did you guys ever watch the movie The Beastmaster? Like an old movie from the 80s where
No, I haven't.
Oh man, you need to Google it.
Is it about a ferret?
No, but it's about a guy that has the ability to, like, not control animals, but he's like, it's like Conan the Barbarian mixed with Dr. Dolittle. Like, this guy is able to talk to the animals and they fight for him. So he has like a tiger. He has a hawk that flies around. I'm trying to remember. It's like an 80s or I think it's an 80s movie. But one of the animals he had was a ferret, and it was like his little thief. Like he would send it into the fortress of his enemy, and it would sneak in and grab a key so he could save the princess or do whatever. I don't remember. Yeah, so I always wanted a ferret, but after researching and of course having my experiences that I had with rodents, the hamster and the 2 rats, I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. But my real dream animal is a husky or any dog that is half wolf. I just love, like, if you've seen the movie White Fang, I love just those kind of like half wild, half just the look of those big dogs are really cool.
Let me tell you right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Tell us. Okay. Wait. Am I going?
Who wants to talk first? No.
Bert, you go ahead.
No, let me tell you what though. My sister Crystal has a husky, and her name is Aspen, and
Fitting name.
that dog is so rambunctious. It's not even funny. So hyper.
I've heard that.
And they shed a bunch.
Yeah, that's true. And I think I've experienced the shedding, and I'm not a big fan, but I actually would prefer a Malamute because I've heard that they're bigger and they're a little more low key.
Crap.
Yeah. So I do take that back. It's actually a Malamute that I want. But speaking
now, huskies are beautiful dogs, though.
They are. They're very beautiful dogs. And someone who would know about that, and someone that I'm definitely a little jealous of, is Zach Auld. He said, as a kid, all I wanted was a dog. So in 8th grade, I remember my mom surprising me with Zeus, the king of all huskies. He was an incredible companion who could keep me warm at night, be there when I was down, and of course, loved to wrestle. Sadly, he passed 5 years later, just as I graduated high school. He was such an important part of my life, I even had him memorialized as a tattoo on my chest. After that, I was moving out, so I bought my mom a Tetra, Legend of Zelda reference, who was a pit border collie, as a companion. Sadly, my mother passed, but left me the amazing little companion in her wake. Those are my main animals. I had a guinea pig, which was an amazing mistake, as it didn't last long. Sold her, and some fish and frogs growing up. So, Ronnie, did you, to wrap things up, did you have a dream animal that if you could choose any animal, money wasn't an issue, no limitations, what pet would you own?
Man, I think I would stay with dogs.
It's all about the dogs, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
They're perfect.
You're right. Dogs. Ooh, I'd love a sled team. Just a bunch of Malamutes and Huskies, and then I could just go to work and travel around Brazil, mushing some Huskies. That'd be awesome. Anywho, as we wrap things up and as we end our discussion about pets, I think Marc Boucher has a few songs for us to go with that GMG playlist.
Marc Boucher does have a few songs, for sure.
Maybe some that the community picked.
Yes, I would say so. Some of which I had kind of already agreed that I was going to do anyway. No
takebacks.
Yep. As always, you can check out the Good Morning Guys morning playlist on Spotify. Just type in the Good Morning Guys morning playlist. You should be able to find it. We add songs every week, and this week is no exception. Going with the pets theme. Several of the people in our Discord suggested "Who Let the Dogs Out" by the Baha Men.
Yeah,
so that's going up there. The song "Stray Cat Strut" from the Stray Cats. That's my pick. It's an 80s song.
I love that one.
Yeah. That's going on there. In honor of my birds, I picked Like a Bird from Nelly Furtado. And also, last but not least, thanks to one Ash Michelle, the Smelly Cat medley from one Phoebe Buffet and the Hairballs.
The Hairballs, really?
Perfect. Yep. Love it. Song of the year.
Smelly cat.
Best addition
smelly cat.
to the music playlist.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear
far.
the medley edition to hear what all happens in this medley of Smelly Cat music. Cool. Well, that's all for this backwards good morning. Feel free to leave us a positive but honest review on iTunes if you have a couple minutes to spare. And remember, if you'd like to respond to our updating questions today, join in on future episodes, or connect with our community but are not sure how to do so, check out the show notes found in the podcast details that have all of our info on our Discord server, where we talk about everything from comparing our piles of unwashed dishes, gaming photos, dad jokes, and more. Twitter handles at the GMG Podcast, email, or you can even call us at what number, Ronnie?
I don't know.
GMG Guys. That's I don't know, GMG Guys. No, that's 929 GMG Guys. Call and restrictions may apply. Call in and leave a message to intro the show or just ask a question. Beyond that, we look forward to talking at you again next week on podcast services around the globe as we discuss our favorite and least favorite TV shows and series, past, present, and future, that have impacted us, made us laugh, cry, and wish we were playing video games sometimes. So join us next week for that. Pat, Marc, and Ronnie J., who for the 21st week in a row made Christopher Reeve roll over in his grave and did not watch Superman, you listeners, our friends, and family, go get your good morning this week. May God bless and guide your lives as you live, work, and game.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Fish.
Meow.
Ruff, ruff! Gobble, 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 gobble. Which animal was that, Marc?
All of them? Because
It
at
was
one
a-
point or another they do that.
It was a fur fish.
Ha!
Ha! Ho!